Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. It's a Sunday. We're going to talk about video games. Zeke, talk about a video game.
Okay, I'll talk about a video game. And that video game I want to talk about is called Alone in the Dark 3.
Nice.
And I still can't understand why this game is so beloved by so many people that it keeps getting voted in to this stupid CD-ROM-a-thon. I'm so small. Why am I so small? I'm getting smaller.
You gotta pitch your voice. You gotta pitch your voice.
What's happening to me? JP. JP, no! No! Okay, I'll start from here.
All right,
So, Alone
Zeke.
in the Dark 3.
Go talk about a video game.
So Alone in the Dark 3, I have no idea why people keep bringing this up for our CD-ROM-a-thon, but for some reason, I don't have a pitch thing. I feel so bad right now.
Okay.
This would have been the best joke on Drop Frames if I had it. I'm so sad right now.
We're done.
Next time.
We're done. All right, that's
Anyway, what's going on with Alone in the Dark 3?
Yeah, now I'm curious.
Why
It's very that you sold it to me.
No, I played it for I played one of them for the past 3 years, and they're just fucking terrible. However, I can see, like, because apparently Alone in the Dark was the spiritual inspiration for the Resident Evil series, and I can absolutely totally see why that is. And most of it has to do with the shitty controls, the tank controls, and the fixed camera angles. Like, I get why, like, that's a thing in these games because of the cinematic nature of them, the suspense that you add and stuff like that. But, like, God, man, some games are just hard to go back to, and this was one of them. And take the worst adventure game like Moon Logic and put it into a survival horror game like Alone in the Dark 3. I mean, you could barely even call it a game, but take all those elements and put it into this game, and it's just like I couldn't do it. It took a while to install it, first of all, just because, you know, old game, new system, and VMs are, you know, unreliable at best. But I finally got it working, and then I played it for 4 hours, and it was just, okay, let me just tell you the solution to one of the puzzles, and you decide from there.
Okay.
So I got stuck at a part where I'm wandering around looking for, like, a way to proceed forward, and there's all these doors that are around there, all locked, right? And you think, like, probably need to find a key or a button or something to get into. Oh, this is great. By the way, that's me searching. That's me, like,
it's great.
When I put my arms out and I put my head forward,
that's great.
That's me slowly looking around for stuff.
You're searching.
God damn. So I'm looking for a way to move forward, and I find out, like, I finally get too frustrated, and I find out hell and damnation. That's it for me. Yeah, I went into the snake barrel, and the snakes got me. And you get this animation every time you die, and it is long. It is like a 3-minute scene. If you can skip it, but it's a 3-minute scene every time you die. And it's all it is. God, there's so many things. Hold on, I'll get back on track.
Yeah, no,
But that death
we're in the
scene
mind
is,
of
all it is
a streamer.
Is
right
you
now.
tied up by your feet, swinging back and forth, and the bad guys in the game, they're all gathered around you, and then each individually they walk into the saloon, and that's it. That's the death scene. But they they walk in each individually. I'm like, there's going to be something that happens, right? They're going to, like, you know, cut me down or do something. Nope. They just, like, they're all standing there watching me hang from my feet. And they're like, well, time to go. Mosey on into the saloon one at a time. And then cut to DOS. It's
Great.
so stupid. But the way I proceed forward with one of these tests, one of these puzzles was, you've seen all the doors. There's like 3 or 4 doors in this house, and they're all locked. But one of them, you have to shoot it. Now, that would be weird in and of itself, but add the fact that when you shoot the door, he goes, knock, knock, it's Santa Claus. Not kidding.
Okay.
But what would you think, like, how would that open, how would a gun open a door?
You would shoot the door handle, I guess?
No,
Sure.
no, no. Obviously, you would disassemble the gun, melt it down, put it into a lockpick mold, use that to then jimmy the other side while using the bullet gunpowder to snort to give you energy.
Even though that makes makes more sense. What you do is you shoot the door, you say, knock, knock, it's Santa Claus, and then the door raises like it's in fucking Star Trek.
I mean,
I'm
okay.
not kidding. You go, it's Santa Claus, and it goes, shh.
That would be a good comedic bit if
wait.
you have at a house and every door opens a different way.
Why does he say it's
Pretty funny.
Santa Claus?
Oh, we don't.
Did you
Yeah,
just
we don't
ask
know.
why, buddy? Did you just ask why?
We don't know.
I'm not even done with the puzzle yet. I feel like Vicini, like, I haven't even begun yet. So once that door opens, you're in this place with 2, like, I want to say corpses or whatever, because the bad guys that are coming after you are like ghosts or spirits or whatever. So you see the corpses of these 2 guys hanging in this room, this little tiny room that you've opened with your gun. And then you use, okay, this part sort of I can kind of get. In order to dissipate them or whatever, you pick up a voodoo noose. And that's, I think the description of it is a voodoo noose.
Okay.
So you show it to them and they go, "Wah!" and they fall down, right? But then, in order to get the door that you just came through open again, there's a lever that's stuck. It says that you try to push it. It's like, this lever is stuck. How do you think you unstick that lever? Well, before you even answer, I'm going to tell you.
You shoot it.
Oh,
In order, no. In order to unstick, I tried shooting it. In order to unstick the lever, you take a bag of scorpions and you put it in the hole that those guys fell down, and it loosens the lever of the in the room there, and then the lever you can push it and it opens and it pops
fair,
up the
that's-
panel and
Huh.
that's the first thing I would have tried.
is putting the scorpions in there. Yep. Me too.
okay.
Me too.
All right.
Yep.
Always scorpions. Everyone knows that. Classic adventure game solution.
But yeah, so that's
Scorpion?
I mean,
We
that's
call
the
it
logic
Scorpion
that
the
you're
hole.
dealing with. Yeah.
That's right.
That's the logic you're dealing with in this game. So I played it for as long as the stream went. Like, I went to my normal stopping time and I said, I am never, ever playing alone. And they're like, what about the remake? Can I play that? And I have to confess, I screamed at the people. I yelled at them and I said, no, in a very loud tone, I will not be playing the remake. Ever.
Okay.
I will not be playing the remake of Alone
The
in
new
the Dark
Alone in
3.
the Dark remake?
Ew.
Oh, of 3. Oh,
Of three.
No,
Of three.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The new Alone in the Dark remake that
Yeah.
we had to download 13 gigabytes for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to play that?
If that wasn't insulting enough,
You don't want to play with the old David Harbour? He's not selling it for you? Okay. All right. Noted.
yep. Unless someone,
Yeah, 100 monthers. Get in there.
This is like
Yeah.
yeah. This is like it's like the opposite of a Stockholm syndrome situation. He spent so much time that he's revulsed from any bit.
That's Minneapolis syndrome. Is what they call that. It's weird. I don't know why, but that's where they settled. That city alone. Anyways, that's Alone in the Dark 3. Don't play it.
Well, let's see. Alone in the Dark 3. I just want to see, like, this game came out in 1994. So there is no excuse for this game to be that shitty. We had great games in 94.
To be fair, though, to be fair, this, I mean, 94 was around the time we were starting to see full 3D games, and there weren't really too many like established standards, especially for fixed perspective. So there's a lot of experimentation in games like Alone in the Dark in trying to figure out the best way to do it. I mean, still use tank controls, which, you know, the industry decided to swear off at a later time because it was so bad. So I would say, if anything, like, you can give it credit for being one of the first, but that has nothing to do with the ridiculous puzzles you were talking about then. That's just bad.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, but yeah, it's yeah. For people saying like Doom 2 and stuff, it's those are first person. So that's a lot different. First person controls arguably are a little bit, you know, more intuitive to design than third person controls where there's no established baseline or basis in how to do it. I mean, they were kind of relatively pioneering in that regard. Wasn't I born in 94? Sure.
Yeah, we were all born in
Yeah.
94. And we're 90s
Yeah.
kids. Totally. Yep.
I'm definitely 30 years old.
Yep. That's correct.
You're right, though. As far as like the 3D aspect of it, sure. I'll concede that not a lot of 3D-ish games, but can you really call this 3D? Because it's fixed camera.
Fixed perspective.
You know?
But yeah, no, you absolutely can. You're moving around the
It's
environment
still a
in
3D game, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're not, it's not a first person perspective, it's a third person perspective. And I mean, you just look at your character. I mean, he's literally like 19 polygons that you can spin
Revolutionary
around.
amounts
Yeah,
of
that's
polygons.
the other argument there would be something like isometric, where it's 2D trying to fake 3D.
Look at all
But no, this is like you're a 3D character in a 3D space. It's one of the reasons the tank controls are so freaking janky. So yeah, it was a pioneering in that regard. But
Yeah.
Sure, I get it. But some games are just hard to go back to.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's
agreed. Anything with tank
that's one of
controls
them.
is a nightmare. Yeah,
God, it's just a
again. There's a
terrible
reason
control
the
scheme.
industry swore them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason that the industry said, okay, as a group, we're getting together and deciding this is
Just,
no longer something we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just rough.
in these
Just
types
rough.
of games.
Anyways, video games.
Real quick, for those
care
wondering,
about
when I say tank controls are when your controls are. Yep. Well, I mean, it makes sense. There's no games
I
with tank
get it.
controls.
They were
anymore.
left
So if
in
you
the
don't play old
90s.
games, yeah. The tank controls refer to your character driving from the perspective of a tank. So to move your character, if you hit W, he moves forward based on his perspective. And when you turn left and right, it's based on where the character is in the game world. So it's functioning like you were driving a tank, where you have to, like, you know, go back and, you know, like it's that kind of thing. Controls these days are done what are called perspective controls. So if you hit up, your character will move up in the game world. If you move right, he will move right in the game world. It is far more intuitive for the player to have perspective controls as opposed to tank controls. So tank controls are still around, and some things they make sense in, especially if you're in a vehicle or something. But in like in person-based games, they have pretty much left. A great example of this is if you played the old Resident Evil 2 and then played the new Resident Evil 2, you would feel a stark difference in the ease of control of your character. As one is old school tank and one is new school perspective. So,
And also, like, when it comes to survival horror games, it works actively against you, because in those kind of games like Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark 3, like, there are things trying to grab you, there are traps, and there's stuff like that. And the tank controls, like, if you want to take a right turn, you take a right turn, because you're going.
There's
like
no
that.
there's no
You
strafing.
don't immediately like turn.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you go like that. So like avoiding shit is like you have to become like a snake.
Yep.
Like, you know how snakes move? I think snakes have tank control. So like you have to like you can't just like make hairpin turns.
Another very tropey thing with tank controls is, especially at their inception, there was no strafing, which was why they were originally called tanks. because like if you think of a tank, it can't go left and right. It has to move to go left or right, or it has to like turn in place before it moves. So another.
Well,
another
also
place to
like
think of.
it's if you ever played the Atari Combat, that's how you move in the Atari Combat as a tank. You press up on the joystick to go forward. You press right and left to rotate your tank, and then you press up to go forward again.
So basically, 90s gamers were real gamers. Yes, that's the point we're trying to make.
Oh yeah.
They were the real gamers. All this stuff these days is just for
it's for babies,
fancies and
dumb
children.
babies.
Dumb babies,
dumb
big
babies,
dumb babies,
big old
dumb babies.
dumb babies, like
big old,
huge,
big old dumb babies.
huge, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back in my day, we had 6 bits and we liked it.
that's right. That's right.
And then
Only
24
had
came around, and we were like, "What am I supposed to do with all these bits?"
It's too many bits.
Too many bits. I can
bits.
clearly see that's a tree. Back in my day, you had to imagine that the 4 blocks with the green block on top, that was a tree to us. If it was a yellow block on top, that was a torch.
I like how Sven Stryker in chat is like, "I think this is a bit right."
Nope,
No,
not
no,
at
this
all.
is-
How would you ever
this is-
guess that? Like
What you're watching now is called games journalism.
Yeah.
No,
That's
if it was a bit, it'd be scripted and funny.
That's a good point too.
Very
It would be
true.
a lot funnier if it was a bit.
That's very true. I mean, this Alone in the Dark thing was going to be a bit, but that took 17 minutes to get through. So
I had a lot of anger. I have a lot of anger about this.
yeah, some
No,
we're
like,
workshopping.
and
We're workshopping.
Well, the reason is like I've got
Live
great games on
workshopping.
the list.
yeah,
I've got great games on the list that it got more votes than. It got more votes than Gabriel Knight 3, Heroes of Might and Magic, Hexen, Neverwinter Nights, No One Lives Forever, Wing Commander 4. It got consistently more votes than all of those.
that's because those are good
Oh,
games, and people
Yeah.
want to see you rant on this
Wanted
show
to
for
see you
17
suffer.
minutes about Alone in the Dark 3.
Sometimes I really question my choice of career.
Yeah, no, you
Because-
created this brand. This is on you. You did this to yourself.
I know.
It's your fault.
Yes, in the words of Radiohead, I did it to myself. That's what really hurts.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. Anyways, video game news. Everyone's talking about Palworld right now. And I feel like I went to bed,
Right.
let's say Friday night. And I was like, man, people are really up on Palworld. I'm excited. I said this game is going to be big, and it's big, and everyone's like super excited and happy. And I woke up this morning, and everything's on fire. People are just,
Yeah.
man, those pitchforks, they took a bit to get sharpened. The pals had to, go into slavery and create them, but they handed them all out. And now the drama is here.
It is, and there's multiple different directions of the drama.
Oh, we
It's
can
like-
pick and choose.
what
Yeah,
you-
you're right.
What you can essentially do
Oh,
is
really?
choose your. It's like a choose your own adventure. It's like choose your drama, and then you can attack it that way.
Yeah.
All right, let me get informed here.
Okay.
Because the only drama I'm hip to is the AI drama.
That's probably the bigger
That's
one.
probably
Biggest
the
one.
biggest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
biggest.
Yeah.
And then there's the rip-off Pokemon angle.
But
and
those
then
are just
there's the
Pokemon
asset-
fans
there's
that-
the asset
yeah.
flip angle.
Yes,
Yep.
that's
So-
also an
I mean-
angle. Yeah.
It's a parody. Like
then there is-
it's supposed to be like as close to a ripoff as you can without, infringing on copyright. And I saw a graphic about like Dragon Quest monsters versus Pokemon monsters, and they're like super similar as well. It's just like it's a thing. That one was just like that's super obvious. Like I didn't think anybody was gonna get mad about that.
Yeah. Was there any other we got the AI, we got all the other ones you listed. Is there any other angles of drama? The asset flips are
The animal abuse.
Which
I've
is a
seen
weird,
some of
like,
that.
that
That's a
one's
weird one.
that
I
one's
agree,
weird
that's a
for me
weird
because
one.
it's like have video games have
Video
existed for 30-ish years, maybe more.
Yep.
And
Welcome
you're
to
gonna
video
choose this one to worry about the morality of?
What's the drama with the AI? Okay, here we go. So
All right.
Zeke, to inform you in chat, let's go ahead and dive in.
Yeah.
So here's
right.
here's the thing. The owner of the studio, there's a term that I know many of you guys have heard, kind of applies to the situation, called bullish. And what that means is that they're very confident in and or use a specific thing. The owner of the company that makes this game has publicly tweeted many times about how he is on board with generative AI. He feels it's a good thing. At one point, he talks about playing with it while making a game. He doesn't say anything about using AI in this game, but he publicly talks about how he thinks it is a useful tool and how it is something that helps him. Now, that has caused all sorts
And
of
that's
problems.
That's it, right?
Well, for now. So
Okay.
that's caused all sorts of problems. And then a lot of people were like, okay, we have no proof that there is AI art in the game, but you would have to be crazy to think there is not after reading the tweets of the studio head. That's the big angle. Then it was pointed out that there's actually like a full team credited with the concept art and the art of the pals. So that was a thing.
Okay.
But the short of it is that this all kind of amalgamates together in people that want to find a reason for being concerned about the game dev future. If they want to, you can. It's kind of like Starfield, where it's like if you go in wanting to find problems with it, they're easy to find. But also, if you just want to play the game and have fun, you could do that, and it's fine. So that's kind of where we are with Palworld, except it's more real world game dev stuff. So the AI stuff is a big concern, because even at one point, the game dev was talking about like making AI versions of Pokemon. Which, let's be real, that's kind of a pretty big tangent to this game. So, the theory is that they put a real Pokemon in AI, they say, make something slightly different, and then they take that and give that to their artist to make the real Pokemon on. That would be an issue. Of course, do we know that happened? No, not at all. But there are signs that point to that could have been being a thing. So the issue there is that plus the fact that they do use some Unreal Store assets for things like, from what I understand, like rocks and some of the trees and stuff, have then together made people say, oh, this is just another asset flip AI game. It falls into that bucket. And look, it's one of the top selling games on Steam. There's millions of players. The world is doomed, and game dev is heading into the worst place it possibly could be. That's that side. So the point is that the game dev lead tweeted all this stuff. The counterpoint is that there's no real proof to it, but the fire's already been lit for it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who says what at this point. The fire's already lit, and it has started a whole lot of stuff there. So that's the big stuff. People are saying that it's AI generated, that it is asset flippy, that and here's where I start having some serious issues with this. That the game is not complete and not fun, and that the game is a cheap veneer that doesn't have anything to offer. That's where all of that leads to.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of have to step in and be like, hold up. Like, no, actually, there's a lot in this game.
Yeah.
It actually works pretty well. It has bugs. It's early access. So it's become a thing. And then there's also there's two other big angles. There is the Pokemon fan angle. There are people that are legitimately angry that these devs think it's okay to influence their pals with Pokemon as much as they have. There's a lot of stuff going around where it's like, here's the Pokemon, here's the pal, circle all of the similar things, look how similar they are, what are these guys thinking, etc., etc. I found it kind of funny because somebody took an image of this cat Pokemon that has like big eyes and a big smile. And they were like, look, here's the pal and here's the Pokemon. And then this other guy shot a still of the Pokemon next to a picture of Alice in Wonderland's Cheshire Cat. And was like, oh, look at that. Look, Cheshire Cat is in Pokemon. What are those guys? So, I mean, it's this weird. Now, there's no question that pals are 100% influenced on Pokemon. I don't think anyone is arguing that's not the case. The discussion, I'm not even going to say argument, the discussion is how far away can you get from the source material when you are iterating? That's the big argument this game has got. Is it okay if you put a Meowth next to a Meow ass and everything's the same except his paws look different? Okay, maybe that's not okay. What if all of his paws look different, not just the front two? Okay, that's okay. What if his mouth and paws look different? Like we've entered this weird discussion where it's like, how far away from source material is okay?
I'll tell you how to find that out. Go to Times Square. Go to Times Square and take pictures with Metal Man. He's got the
instead of
gold
Iron Man.
room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Go take
and
a picture
here's the thing.
with Momo. Hi,
To be
I'm
clear,
Momo. Like,
let me
That's how you
make
know.
this. Let me ground this a bit more. I'm not talking about legal copyright. I'm
That's
not
a whole
talking
nother
about
thing, yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. I'm not talking about Nintendo suing Palworld. The reason that this whole how different is okay argument has come up because there's a lot of overlap with the AI art thing. Like all of that discussion
That's where it
has
stems all
become
from, yeah.
abusing artists and using AI in their place. So it's the biggest issue is that everything about Palworld is a nuanced discussion that changes heavily based on your perspective at which you want to talk about it. And the issue is that most of this stuff is happening on Twitter, which is the exact opposite of nuanced perspective-based arguing. So now that's the problem. The problem is that all the stuff in here and all the interesting things to chat about and the direction of AI and should it be regulated and how is it regulated, all that is a very nuanced discussion. But all people are doing on Twitter are shouting their side into the void. Everyone's getting their ass kicked for their opinions because everyone's kind of wrong. And it's become this huge cluster. And the biggest problem is as everyone's yelling at each other, the sales and players just keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, we skipped over that
nothing but good
conversation.
for the game, yeah.
They passed
Yeah,
4
which is-
million sold? Is that the
Have they?
latest?
There are 4 million now. Oh my
Is it
god.
4 or
it
3
was
million?
about 2 million.
I thought it was 3. I saw 3 last.
Oh yeah, they passed 4 million in 3 days. Yep, that's the
Yeah.
latest.
So
latest update, which is crazy.
It's been a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think the point, one of the points about AI and why, like, there's a lot of people like, who cares that they're using AI? The thing with AI that is the sticking point is AI cannot generate its own creative new thing.
Yeah,
it takes already like
it's got to be
made
trained
by other like artists, and it takes pieces from other artists and makes its own thing. Now you could also argue that that's what artists do. That's what inspiration is. But it's a one-to-one like take. It has to be taken like specifically from something. Whereas an artist recreates from their memory, which is not, one-to-one specific.
Yeah.
What is 4 million? By the way, shout out and thanks to Julia. Julia just linked a post that says, "Hey Co, post 753 in this thread shows an artist should have designed all the pals, but I'm not sure," and then links a post. And sure enough, it's a guy in Japanese, which the company's based in Japan, and he's talking about looking at I was able to complete 100 PAL designs based on how fast the concept artist could make them, etc., etc. So, I mean, if this is accurate, then it is saying that AI was not used in the creation of the PALs, which again is not
God.
main argument. Like, so who
taking like
knows?
just a step back. One, congrats to the devs on the huge success. Two, I'm so sorry that you are going to be put under a microscope on the entire internet for everything you've ever done.
And will do.
And will do on the internet from henceforth. Like, holy shit, man. Like,
oh, now someone brought up a good point. What if an AI wrote that forum post? I didn't consider that.
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
that was maybe an AI wrote the post to make
know.
up the human element so the AI could trick the humans into believing the AI was actually human.
You never know.
I mean, it happens all the time.
You never know.
Also, I saw a few people like while I was talking about that, like they were saying I'm completely wrong, which is
the AI art discussion's a vast
totally
and
different can of
story.
I'm fully willing to admit that I'm
worms.
misinformed, but
yeah, like it's
AI,
we could just leave it at that.
Just like the term AI art is an umbrella term for lots and lots of different things.
Yeah,
lots of different. So, it is not an easy conversation to have unless you are on the same page, at least in terms of scope, with the person you're talking to, and you have some established, agreements on ground rules.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It is a whole
Yeah.
thing. That all being said, I think we could. Are you comfortable saying that this game's a lot of fun?
Game's fun.
Yeah, talk
Yeah.
about the game.
Yeah, like the game is
Now.
fun. I got 60
game-
hours in
the
the game,
game-
and it's fun.
The game is Ark plus Pokemon with a little bit of Valheim and then guns. And
Yeah.
that's basically what this game is. And the part that makes it all work is that it actually works. Like somehow they kind of like all the Pokemon are random and have crazy abilities, and the tech tree actually is kind of fun to get through, and the world is big and open to explore, and there's little secrets and stuff to get everywhere. There's procedural dungeons, there's bosses, there's full equipment paths to work through. There's reasons for catching Pokemon over and over. The progression is actually pretty smooth and balanced. Like there's lots of things in it that just kind of work for the genre.
Yeah.
And they kind of like took all that together and then flavored it with these other things. And I mean, it's just fun to play. It's just fun to play.
Very easy
as
to
Todd
just
would say,
lose
it
hours.
just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It just works. And
incredibly easy
I
to
have a-
lose hours to.
I have a thoughts video on this. And let me, as I say at the beginning of the thoughts video, I was one of the first people to say, when I first heard of Palworld, this looks dumb. Pokemon with guns?
Oh,
I
yeah.
am not interested. This looks like a meme game. This looks like something that they just want to get a bunch of YouTubers to play and sell a bunch of copies and be done with it. You know, I told people for the first few days it was out, I'm not planning on playing it. I have no issues. And I'll never forget the day someone in chat was like, no, it's not Pokemon with guns. It's Pokemon plus guns plus Valheim.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, wait, so there's a real adventure survival crafting game in here? And like the Pokemon and guns thing are just like little features of the big survival crafting game? They were like, yeah, you should try it. And I tried it, and sure freaking enough, dude. Like, I could see putting 50 plus hours into this game if they make the bosses keep being interesting and the tech tree stuff keeps being as rewarding as it has been. And it's just the whole system of every pal. Every pal has different crafting specialties that then also have levels. And you can have a little army of pals at your base that you have to feed and give places to sleep and places to chill. And they'll like go out and automatically do their little like base running stuff. And
Then you
yeah,
start
like,
getting multiple
kinda awesome.
bases that are specialized in things, and you start
Funny
getting
enough,
factory stuff.
a lot of people were like, oh, I've never seen this before. This is amazing. Yeah, they took that from Conan.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you did in Conan. They just
Yeah.
made it with pals instead of people. So it's like, and you can even use people if you want to in this game. So it's kind of funny. Like I heard someone be like, yeah, this revolutionary system of using NPCs you catch in your base. And I was like, Conan did it. It's like a Simpsons did it. Nope, that's from Conan.
Yeah.
You can do that with pretty much everything in this game. Oh, that's from Pokemon. That's from Ark. That's from Valheim. That's from Conan. And that's okay. Because I mean, the thing is, it's okay when you do that and it works. Like that's what game iteration is. That's why we have 50,000 first-person shooters, because they keep trying to one-up the last one. So it's like that stuff works if you do it, and then you do it well. So that's kind of where we are with Palworld.
Yeah.
Until we get all the way back to Pong did it. Like
That's very true.
Or if you want to go back even further, the Tennis for Two, like arguably the first video game ever that they've created on an oscilloscope, which was basically Pong before Pong.
That's true. Yep. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm
blessed.
gonna go ahead and just squash this for now because I see my chat. We're not gonna have discussions on slavery. It's a video game, y'all. Like, come on. It's
Yeah.
not like just take a deep breath.
It's that one's.
It's the same. It's slavery, animal cruelty, violence. Like, chill.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little different.
Yeah. It's a strange conversation for sure.
That's just
Plus,
like,
don't they enjoy it? I
That's a
thought there was something
completely
about
different
them
thing.
enjoying it.
Sure. I mean, you can like there's when you're out in the world, you can find little enemy encampments from like other humans, and they'll have a pal in a cage. And if you look at the pal before you let him out, they have like a really distressed, sad face. And then when you like let them out, they go, heh, and then they just like appear in your base later. So,
I too would have a distressed face if I was in a cage.
they like kind of lean in on it of like, hey, maybe this is kind of fucked, but it's still.
But listen here, if you know anything about animals and their like aggression signs, like an animal shows you their teeth, it may look like they're smiling. They are angry. So I'm guessing when you let them out, they are showing their teeth to show their anger.
That's true.
Okay,
true.
please don't try to do that to this game.
It's true.
Anyway,
You're right.
but yeah, it's the whole there's this game does have a lot of darker themes. I mean, some of the stuff, the descriptions of the Pokemon pals, excuse me,
The pals. I've done that too. Yeah, it's
are
funny.
just dark. Like some of them are just messed up. There's a pal on level 69.
Yep.
That is wearing a heart thong. And it literally says that this pal likes to go after humans for debauchery. It's like, cool, I see that in Pokemon.
Has an interest in humans. For debauchery.
So there's all sorts of weird themes in this game. But I think honestly, that's like a little bit of what makes it endearing. Is
There's
it's kind of like
charm
taking Pokemon,
Yeah.
which is like a kid's game essentially, or it is angled towards safer work stuff. Pokemon is, and then it's like putting this really weird, dark, strange spin on it, which I know for me has made it significantly more entertaining reading the little descriptions.
Yeah, the little descriptions are fun in that regard.
Yeah.
There's Depresso, who's taken over the internet right now.
Yeah,
Depresso's a big
Depresso.
hit. Yeah, there's just
The one that
he
I
does
saw
like your
that I
minds.
actually laughed out loud about
Yeah.
was the Pokemon or the pal named Hang You.
Yeah, Hang You. Yep. There's a Hang You pal.
That is so dark, but like that's for me. That is literally gallows humor.
Yeah.
There is a
there's
term
Hang You.
called gallows humor, and that is literally the personification of gallows humor, which is my type of humor.
Yeah.
It is so dark and just icky, and I fucking laughed.
I
I
like
was like, they call him Hang You, and he's a news.
yeah.
Fuck,
Fwack
dude.
is good. Or
That got
Fwack.
me, man.
The duck named Fwack is I like them. There's 111 different pals in the game with like plans for 170. And I think the other conversation that we haven't really discussed is the company's history when it comes to updating early access titles or perhaps lack thereof. And are they going to be able to handle this, right? Because like there's a lot of game here. I would say 30 to 60, depending on exactly what you want to do in the game. To get to like level 30-ish, it slows down immensely around 30 to continue moving forward. But yeah, the company needs to like actually iterate and update and do early access stuff. And hopefully with 4 million copies sold plus Game Pass on top of that, they do. Right? They continue to like push updates for all this. But that's just going to be a time will tell for that. And I hope they actually do update it because this game is a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it. And we'll continue
Now, I had a
to
couple
probably
of
play.
questions.
Yeah.
A couple of questions regarding like how close to Pokemon is it? How much time do you spend in your menu?
I mean, you're looking at like crafting things. You're looking at like you do a lot of this. Just
Is
like
it 50% or more?
not really.
I mean,
Okay.
here's the thing. It doesn't have
Not
to
similar to Pokemon games then. Okay.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't
Like
have
you
to
can
be.
you can catch each one of the pals up to 10 times for experience bonuses. They do have randomized stats. You could min max putting like the right passive buffs in the right areas, have a perfect makeup in your party, that kind of thing. Or you can just run around and shoot shit.
Yeah, that's the other. You can just
Like
ignore all
you
of
don't
that.
really have to do any of this at the end of the day, and you could just go and catch a bunch of Pokemon for levels, and then do bosses and explore and stuff like that if you want to. They do give you a lot of reasons for having a base, and
Yes.
the base mechanic is very developed. So like you can put a lot of your base on autopilot with pals.
It's
Go
automated.
back to
yeah.
your base. You're getting tons of resources. Like it's very meaningful to participate in that part of the game.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You could also go out and mine all yourself and chop all the wood down yourself and grow your own food, and it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
mostly
I
joking
agree.
because like I watched a speed run of a Pokemon game from SEGA, and it's like just tons of menuing. It's like you walk around a little bit and then you're like through your menu, more menuing. Okay, and then you walk around a little bit and then it's menu. Yeah, just like that was the joke. Anyways, sorry.
No, that's okay.
And but actual honest question. Is there like evolutions? Do you like evolve
No.
your pals?
There's not evolutions, but there is a
Okay.
base building thing you can get where you can combine Pokemon into a stronger version. So it's not really an evolution, but there is like a take a whole bunch of pals and squish them together to make a
Which
more
is
stronger pal.
wild, by the way, because the first upgrade, I don't know if you looked into it. First upgrade is the
Is
base
4.
and 4. The
And then
second
next one
is
is
16. And then
And
32.
we were talking about
and then
this.
the
Is it
final
32?
one's 64.
Okay, that's actually not as bad as I thought, because 4 to 16 is a 4x.
Yeah.
So I was worried it was
I
going to be
think
like
it's 64 for the
4,
final one.
16, 72, and then like 256 or something.
The other thing I will say is later on in the tech tree, you do get a gun that allows you to capture or that allows you to shoot multiple PAL balls at one time.
Oh,
And so
wow.
that
Okay.
that like grind slowly starts to decrease, but
Interesting.
yeah, it can get kind of nuts.
Honestly, I'm just super excited for these devs' next game. I think it's called Sorcery: The Assembly.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think that's going to have it's a card game, and I think it's going to have a lot of
Oh, I don't
of
card
fun
game. That
stuff.
might just be a nail in the coffin though. It's card game.
so.
Yeah, I don't
Did you
know.
say card game?
Well, I don't know. Zeke's
Yeah.
response might maybe there is hope. Maybe it might do well.
Oh, no, it's a card game, right? Is it?
You know?
I
CCG?
really appreciate the people that got that joke. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the real one.
So yeah, I'm not sure what else there's. I've seen level 50 mobs. I've seen the legendary pals. They're not super crazy. There are like the elite 4 for Pokemon people.
They're shinies.
Yeah, there's shinies in the game.
They're actually meaningful, not just cosmetic.
Yeah, they help. They usually have like
passives.
the passive stuff. Yep. And the Elite Four also seem like you're gonna need to play for a while because like the first tower fight has like 30,000 HP, and then the other ones that I've seen are like 70, 90, and then 140,000 HP, which is it's a lot because you're not doing that much damage. At least at the level that I am, around 30. So maybe when you get an actual like fully realized AR and like a equal level Palmon, you'll be able to cruise through that stuff. But yeah,
or just ride one or hold one. It shoots egg explosives out of its butt or something. You know, who knows in this game?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a lot. That's
uh,
another
No,
fun thing.
this game
So
is a clip creating machine, like
Oh yeah,
something
Yes.
that took the place of Lethal Company as far as like clips I've seen on. No, I'm just saying clips I've seen on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
people just posting like, this is what happened recently in my Palworld game. Like it's
So-
nowhere near the juggernaut that Lethal Company was, but it's definitely like, becoming that a little bit.
one fun thing, and I don't know if any Pokemon game does this because I don't play Pokemon, but I will say I find it really fun where every time you get a pal, they generally have like an iconic active or passive ability. And they've had a lot of fun with that in this game where like you can get a pal, for instance, where it's you get a pal, you capture it. That unlocks the thing on your tech tree to then make an Uzi. You make the Uzi. Well, when you have that pal out and you hold down F, he jumps on your head and starts shooting his Uzi at everything nearby. Another bird pal lays explosive eggs. So if you make the right thing, you can hold down F, you pick the pal up, and you shoot eggs that explode out of its ass for a little bit of time. There's pals that let you fly. There's pals that you can ride. There's pals that do passive things. There's a pal that makes it so if you have them in your team, but not your active Pokemon, they still help your attack. So there's people that are like
There's a lot,
min-maxing
yeah.
having a bunch of those in your party with like a main one. So there's
Your active
like
pal.
all these, yeah. Oh, sorry. So there's all these like interesting synergies and party builds and things you can do
lifesteal,
that-
different elements,
Absolutely.
attack.
And as far as I
heals.
know,
yeah,
as far as I know, none of that is in Pokemon.
I'm not sure.
I don't know,
can't-
but I've never heard of that. And like maybe it is in like one of the Pokemon
haven't
games
spent
or
more
something.
than 30 minutes in a Pokemon game.
I'm the same way. I don't play.
Yeah, I
But
can't. I could
but, you know,
never.
stuff like that I found was interesting. And also another interesting spin on this game.
I played
think a
Pokemon
lot
for
of-
a day.
I think a lot of Pokemon fans aren't quite understanding this angle because they're Pokemon fans. But for a lot of us non-Pokemon fans, it's kind of fun being able to participate in that world in a framework that I enjoy supremely more than any Pokemon game. I
Sure.
don't like the Pokemon games, but I've always liked the idea of gotta catch them all, right? A whole bunch of fun things to collect and they all have stats. That's cool. But I don't like Pokemon games. So to have that system in a framework of survival builder, which is frankly my bread and butter, that's cool. I like being able to do that. I wish Pokemon would make a game like that. Like, it's kind of like, like that would bring, I think, a lot of people in, as it has with Palworld. And it makes me think that a lot of the reasons we're seeing this success with Palworld is people that want this kind of game for Pokemon and just realize they're never going to get it, so they might as well, go for something that's
going back to the discussion about this game. Is the hope that Game Freak is seeing this and being like, oh, so people do want to play it higher than 20 FPS, right? Or, oh, so people do want like a fully realized 3D world with more than 5 or 6 things in it. Like, it's the hope that it's going to make Pokemon as a franchise better in the future, just because of this.
And as
they probably won't do
Chattered
shit, but
Jill Valentine Sandwich says, great name there, by the way.
Great, yeah.
So you like survival games with knockoff Pokemon attached to it, ... 1 second. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's correct.
It looks like that's exactly what I like. Yes,
real
I
quick.
I like good survival
Now,
games.
I'm-
with
so I'm-
knockoff,
What did
gotta
you- what
snatch
did
them
you
all
just-
attached. Yes, I do.
What did you just check code?
The screen down below.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
when you
went-
looked off to the
went like
side.
that. Yeah.
I was looking down at the gameplay, which is right below me. in
Oh.
physical space right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha.
So I'm
Okay,
so
okay.
curious of like, what community is that person from that has that opinion? Is that a Pokemon fan?
That is interesting to think.
'Cause, like,
what
what-
perspective is from that comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Is
don't,
it like this kind of like, oh, how dare they use my Pokemon for this?
because I
kind of
have
thing?
seen there's like a pretty big contingent of Pokemon fans that are upset at this because it's
completely.
because it's quote unquote ripping off Pokemon.
Yep.
And so that might be what camp they're in. I'm not sure. I'm
Jill,
generally
if you
curious.
don't mind telling us,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
completely out of curiosity, like where did that perspective
Where
come
are
from?
you
Specifically the ellipsis at the end of the comment,
Yeah.
where it's like ... you knave. Which is, I hope, what you said. I hope you
I
called
hope
me a
so.
knave at the end
I
of
hope
that.
so.
I do.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
do.
I really do. Yeah, because I'm generally curious. I think we're gonna see a lot of discussion. I already have seen like one of the other things is there is a single community manager who, from my point of view, is doing quite well and is
Talking about
super friendly.
Bucky?
Yeah, and Bucky.
Is that, yeah, Bucky. Yeah,
And
he's been
they're-
killing it, man.
And they're getting like ripped up because they've had 2 tweets from the official account that are like kind of not necessarily true. The one being that it's is it the highest concurrent of any paid game on Steam? Because any
didn't hear
game
about
that's
this.
not free, I think, is maybe what it is. And that's because PUBG at launch was paid and now it's free. And so PUBG actually is number 1.
Yeah, PUBG
but-
had like
but-
3.4 million at one point.
But when you go to like Steam DB or whatever the Steam charts is, PUBG is now free and it doesn't recognize the fact that it wasn't when it launched. So like people are like calling them out on that for having like quote unquote
Yeah, PUBG was
untrue
paid at the time.
tweets. Yeah. But there's like one community, guys. So I'm kind of maybe just give them a little bit of a break and let them have some fun. Like
He's doing his best.
yeah, just like celebrate the fact that they're killing it in terms of sales and all that stuff. I've seen there was another one too that I forget what the actual tweet was that was quote unquote fake news. But did Jill ever respond or did they exit?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
There's a lot going on in this chat right now.
It might
So
have been.
I may
Yeah,
have
this
missed
game
it.
is the hotness when it comes to the debates for sure.
Well, I'm looking at the SteamDB, the SteamDB.info, and right now it looks like Palworld is 945,000 players right now,
Yeah.
followed by Counter-Strike at 801,000, Dota at 598.
Yeah, it peaked at
And then-
1.1.
I shit you not. Guess what number 4 is?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah.
It's way
Get it.
down the list, like as far as numbers, but it's number 4
Love
at
it.
229.
Freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
At least that's
Still
what I'm looking.
crushing.
I don't know how reliable that is. I'm just looking at Steam database. That's it.
Still crushing.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Yeah. Anything else we need to add to the Palworld discussion? I guess if
Not
my
really.
question now is someone who's put. I always have to like remove the fact that I play games for a living, because come Enshrouded on Tuesday or whenever that game's come out, I'm probably gonna check out Enshrouded. But a week from now, are people gonna still be playing Palworld? A month from now, are people gonna still be playing? Like, is there
there
that
enough
staying
content?
power? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, 60 hours or it's like 50 hours is still a lot for anyone. And so I think that's like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much people are actively
All I know is I
playing
can't
it.
wait for Enshrouded, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't.
yeah.
Here's a question, because I'm generally curious. You've played it, I have not. Will Enshrouded be will it spread like wildfire, do you think?
Enshrouded is a more palatable Valheim.
Okay.
Problem with that is that it's a more palatable Valheim.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see, like, is the influx of people who want a more structured survival experience that's a slightly more handholdy with better graphics, or the influx of those players going to counterbalance the exodus of players that are like, I already did this in Valheim.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, there's a lot of players like me who are like, I can't get enough of this genre. The more you have, the better. So, I can't wait for Enshrouded, but there's a lot of Valheim in Enshrouded, but there's no question that it is an iterative experience in terms of a lot of new mechanics that it brings in. Like, an actual fleshed out main quest. There's a lot of world mechanics that are different with, like, I think they call it the Gloom or something.
Okay.
There's this whole, like, bring NPCs into your base and build them houses and stuff. Constructing is a little bit easier in a lot of ways. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder too, like, how much of the hype around Palworld will bleed off into, like, here's Enshrouded, and Palworld didn't use AI art, but if they did, this one didn't for sure. Like, is that going to be like a conversation around the game? I guess we'll see as the week progresses, how successful it does. But I do know that was a pretty big hit during the demo days that Steam did, and you guys both spoke highly about
big.
it. So. It
Can't wait
could
for
have a pretty big launch come Tuesday, which very weird that we're in January and the amount of games coming out is wild right now. This next week has so many releases to it.
And Catter goes, wait, are you saying you can build a base and have people live there and work? Sounds like a Palworld ripoff, to be honest.
It might be. It might be.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So this next week, Enshrouded is that Tuesday?
Enshrouded is the 24th?
Okay, so that's Tuesday.
24th, yeah.
I know Yakuza comes out on Friday. There's Tekken, I think, on Friday as well. Chat's saying Wednesday. Maybe early access is Tuesday or something. I'm not sure.
Tekken 8 is Friday.
What was that?
Friday.
Yeah, Tekken 8 same day is the Yakuza.
And Persona 3 Reloaded in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's soon. And then I think next Friday there's does Persona come out on the same day as Grand Blue on the 2nd? I think that's a thing. There's a bunch. There's a bunch coming out. And it's great because it's January and we still have like all of these releases and we were very worried about it. But we'll see.
Oh, wow.
What?
Kind of an interesting side note here.
Let's hear it.
Somebody just pointed out, you guys know Jeff Grubb?
Yeah,
just tweeted this out, and I hadn't thought about this, but this is an interesting point.
Let's hear it.
Palworld is all the evidence you should need that we're currently at a 0% risk of going sub only. It is a Game Pass game that is also a top seller. Kind of interesting. I had not actually, I mean, I knew it was on Game Pass, but that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. The game's available for free, and it's still a top seller. Oh, by sub only, he means subscription services only, outside of buying games.
I'm going to use that as like a trampoline to jump to the other bit of news this week. But yeah, that's kind of,
Oh, and now people in chat are saying, but the Game Pass version is ass.
It is actually bad. It's 1.0.
So now I'm wondering, it's like, did a lot of people do the Game Pass version and they're like, this sucks, but I like it, and then went and bought it?
It's
Now hold on a second.
the Game
Was
Pass.
that the plan?
It might
They
be.
don't update them together. Like they don't like.
For whatever reason, the Game Pass version is actually 1.0 and the current version is 1.02 or whatever on Steam.
So many people in chat are saying that's what they did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Oh
seeing
my
a lot
God.
of that.
They're
Yeah.
fishing for sales
And
with Game Pass.
That's probably because it's Xbox cert bullshit, like
Wow,
certification.
interesting.
I would think. I don't think that that's the dev. I mean,
Nah, I just think they wanted more sales.
it could be.
I think this is
but-
Five Head stuff right here.
Yeah, I mean that is
This
some
is from-
serious five-head shit, but most of the time it's Microsoft over a weekend not being like, guys, we got to go through cert. Like we have to be able
Yeah.
to push this through cert so that it works on all of our
Box and
shit.
chat. In all the din, chat's flying. And he just goes, it's just like crack. Yes, it is. The first hit of
taste
Palworld
free.
is first hit of Palworld's free. But then if you want the good stuff, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Speaking of free, if you're a
Yep.
content creator on Twitch, check your notifications because that's how I got Palworld.
Oh,
Yep,
really?
I got
Yep.
yeah.
They sent out free
Yep.
keys to everyone, and they sent out
I
free
got
keys before it came out.
Yeah.
They actually gave
Yeah.
early
I
access.
got
to everyone, which
mine.
was pretty
It says 4 days ago.
Oh,
I don't know
cool.
if that was before, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my mod is informing me that the early access version, which we had access to
cool. Oh,
2 days before release, had things that even the Game Pass version doesn't have, like renaming pals right now.
Interesting. Also, somebody just pointed this out. This is a game I loved. Linux Noob, love the name, says Everspace 2 actually also had a horrid Game Pass launch with versions mismatching, and a lot of people did not play it as a result. So that very well may be a technical reason.
It's got to be
that it's
search
not
shit.
fully
Yeah.
patched.
Yeah.
Search shit.
That sucks. Let's use what that tweet from.
I didn't know that about Everspace 2. That's too bad, man. I love that game.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Let's use that tweet from Mr. Grubb to talk about. There was a bit of news coming out from Ubisoft, where a Ubisoft executive said, "quote Gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off." When referring to the Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Plus Classic subscriptions that they recently, I think, rebranded or relaunched or something like that. And this kind of spawned a pretty big conversation about things.
So many people in chat. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I think anybody who uses like Game Pass and that kind of stuff, like subconsciously knows that, like, the Game Pass games aren't there forever.
Yeah.
So,
Chat is being very vocal about the fact that apparently that quote was taken out of context.
Oh, what? Oh, sure. That would make
well,
sense.
of course it was.
Of course it was. Yeah.
I mean, it
that's
was on
everybody.
Twitter, so
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
assume
yeah.
it was taken out of context, probably butchered down to make a point that somebody was trying to make. Absolutely.
Probably was, yeah.
Okay.
My direct thing, and I think I already know how to combat what I'm about to say, but like Steam is the biggest DRM platform in our industry. So like all of our shit could be just taken away if Valve
And you
wanted
can get
to.
banned on Steam.
Yeah, and you can
lose
lose
your
it.
library.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's
Yeah.
like the concept of ownership there, if you're a Steam user, is
But the
Yeah.
conversation there is like it's not it's not a service, it's not a subscription. You're not like paying Steam monthly type deal. So
correct.
I can already
What
poke
exactly-
holes in my
big
own
difference.
statement.
Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Big difference.
hypothetically, like, what exactly could get you banned from Steam? I mean, just for the people who might want to know.
I don't
As somebody who knows you, most of what you do behind those doors and off stream. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just say that whole like getting media for your physical media for your thing is probably a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be any day now.
I mean, that's 2,416 games that if I got banned on Steam, that I would. That would be just sunk cost. And I mean,
I'm so sorry, Zeke, that I've given you a new anxiety.
I know.
That was not my intention.
Oh my
that
god.
you
all right,
now-
I am banning Gabe and emotes in my channel forever. I'm never like I'm disallowing them.
Oh god. Our buddy,
just a funny note. Ziggler says continually charging back will actually get you banned pretty quickly. That's interesting. I had not heard any of that.
Oh, see, I'm in no danger of doing that because I feel too bad. Even if the game is shitty, I made money playing it.
yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm the same way. If I stream something, it's like at that point.
Yeah.
Can't really do
Exactly. I mean, in my time on Steam, 2,400 plus games, like I think I've refunded like 4.
Yeah,
like maybe half a dozen.
I can't name the games that I've refunded, but I've done like maybe about that number, 4 or 5. No, I didn't refund King Kong, chat.
I saw the speed run of that.
Oh, that was at
GDQ.
GDQ.
At GDQ, yes.
How fast was the speed run? It was like 13 minutes, right?
It was less. I think it was. I know it was less than an hour. And I think it was around like 30 minutes. I think. But what they did, they just jumped it to the edge of the map and just traveled to the end of the fucking game.
Oh,
for the most part.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they glitched the final boss. It's so stupidly easily. Like
I've seen that.
It was a treat to watch.
Yeah.
It was a treat to watch.
By the way, guys, he's talking about chargebacks, not refunds. Yeah, charging back and refunds are 2 different things.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
What? I think
they have an entire system in place for refunding. You know, the whole 2-hour thing, all that kind of thing. Chargebacks are when you like pay for something, play the hell out of it, and then tell your credit card that was stolen and that you shouldn't have it.
Oh, okay, I've never done that. Yeah.
If that's the
thing,
no,
chargebacks are shitty.
Which makes sense. I mean,
that makes sense to get banned for that.
Yeah, I did online sales for.
Thanks for the clarification, Chad.
Pawn shop.
People do that
I did this
all the time.
Twitch things, and chargebacks are one among the hardest things to fight because you're not fighting the person, you're fighting the credit card company.
Yeah,
and it's if someone charges something back, unless you want to take it like.
That's fraud.
To like a time-consuming extent, you just say fuck it and then just count the loss. It sucks. Chargebacks are terrible. Also, that Kong run apparently 12 minutes 25 seconds.
Yeah, I thought it was low. I thought it was under 13. I remember I watched that after I spent time with the game. Anyways, what else do we got in news? Halo apparently canceled a battle royale after years of work on it, which
Halo?
Yeah, there was apparently a battle royale that was being worked on. This is coming from Eurogamer reporting this.
I missed that.
And it's no longer set for launch. I don't know. They didn't really get into the whys. Like Halo's kind of on an upswing right now with their most recent thing. At least the numbers are increasing.
Barry's been playing it a lot.
Yeah, Barry's our
resident Halo.
Yeah, I guess resident Halo aficionado has been playing it. But you would think that like a Halo BR would just be like an easy win, but maybe maybe the days of BR is over. I don't know. Like Fortnite kind of just said like, oh yeah, we're the BR game, but we're also everything else, the game. I don't know. Yeah. It was never officially announced to begin with, so maybe that's why. Would really love to know the full reason for that, but probably we'll never get it. What else? God, Palworld is just all over it. Every like million sales got a new post on this conglomerate that I'm looking at. Do y'all know or anything about the Remedy and Take-Two logo dispute? What was that about?
I know it's not news.
Okay,
apparently
it's just like a
it was
thing.
Solved amicably behind closed doors. It's whatever. It was some conflicting stuff over some of the trademarking on the R sign and how it was being used in the gaming space and stuff like that. And apparently, the thing people need to know is they talked about it and figured it out. Cool.
Okay.
Done. That's it. It's from everything I saw, it was not a big deal.
Got it.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's something else there, but I
don't think
it's
so.
Kind of weird. It's kind of weird because I feel like it's like when I talk to my 6 and my 4-year-old, they used their words and they figured it out.
Strange.
And done.
Strange.
Let's go play Core Keeper.
There you go.
Okay. Great.
Rock Band 4 news. After 8 years, they're done releasing DLC on January 25th. That'll be the last DLC of the Rock Band 4 era. They've been putting out DLC for 17 years.
And then they get to announce Rock Band 5. Is there a 5?
I don't know. I don't think that's announced at all. But that's wild that they've been pushing out songs. Still, I wonder how many. Chat. Does anyone know
Wait,
how
they've
many
been doing
songs?
it every week?
Yeah, how many songs are there in the Rock Band 4
damn.
catalog? Because that is why it was. I'm okay. My chat just said 2,800 songs in total during the lifespan. That's a shit ton.
That's a spicy licensing bill right there.
Yeah, that's wild. Holy shit. Epic owns Harmonix now, right? They made that most recent Fortnite Rock Band thing.
Yeah, they're just gonna put Rock Band into Fortnite and call it a day.
They kind of did. Yeah, it's already out. Yeah.
I haven't played it yet. Is it any good? Has anyone tried it?
I have seen a couple of TikToks on it. It seems fully competent, but I have not played it myself either. What is this Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth stuff? Apparently locking New Game Plus.
3 things.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go through them. Let's talk about them.
Okay, there's two we'll talk about. We're going to talk about the third one.
Okay.
Not until after it comes out.
Okay.
So the 2 big ones are, first of all, in very non-RGG fashion, they locked New Game Plus behind an enhanced edition, which is just, I don't care how much money you're going to make from that. The PR cost of doing something like that is just boneheaded.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, it's especially when you factor in by the time people are actually getting to New Game Plus in a game this long, the price is probably already dropped on it anyway. So it's just so weird. It's so weird. But yeah, and people are saying classic Sega, but I don't know, man. We haven't seen this in other games from the Yakuza franchise.
Well, they did it for 7, but only in Japan.
Oh, I didn't hear they did it in Japan for that. So I was going to say they didn't do it for 7 here.
Yeah, it was only in Japan that they locked it behind DLC.
Interesting. And then the other thing, and before I say this, let me be perfectly clear. This is not from my perspective, because from my perspective, I understand completely why they did it. It's whatever. I don't care. No, whatever. But they did an early preview with XQC.
Oh,
and
yeah.
XQC is a lightning rod for a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And although the business perspective of probably handing him 2 large sacks with dollar bills on them to play the game early, and then exposing Yakuza to literally 50,000+ people who have probably never seen it before, like, it makes sense business-wise. The only problem there is that XQC publicly has a bit of a reputation that is not, we'll say, universally loved. And on top of that, he has actually made disparaging comments multiple times about the Yakuza franchise, which the fans have noticed. So it's created this weird, it just feels weird. And a lot, and if you see the post where they announced he was doing that and you look at the replies and stuff, it's not pretty. I mean, if they were trying to do like a PR push with it, it was not.
They pissed off a lot of their fans.
It sure is
exactly
on brand.
That's the big thing.
For a game subtitled Infinite Wealth to sponsor a guy who flaunts his infinite wealth against anyone who ever criticizes him. These are direct comments from Twitter.
The comments are like ripping XQC.
Yeah, it's really painful. No. Well, not only that, it's not necessarily ripping XQC apart. It's ripping RGG apart.
Sure,
for thinking that was a good idea. Like that's the part that kind of is the worst part. It's a lot of them are not necessarily attacking XQC. It's being like, why did you do this, RGG?
Yeah.
Like, there's even people saying in there, like, yeah, I was considering buying this. I don't think so anymore. Like, I don't want to support, this is what you're going to do with the money I give you. I don't want to support this. And it's just like, man, talk about like open mouth, insert foot kind of a situation.
Dude,
so
if you scroll down a little bit, one of the comments is, cancel the partnership with him. Make a partnership with Co-Carnage.
There you go. That's Co's alt account. What?
I have nothing to say about this at all, and I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm already working with him, so it's like I don't.
There you go.
This is not a they chose him over Co kind of thing. This is they chose one of the biggest streamers in the world to promote their game. Like, that's their business. That's what they're looking at, right?
Yeah.
looking like
Yeah.
he's never played the game before in any meaningful capacity. He's got tens of thousands of people that work with him. Let's show them our awesome game. That's what they thought, right? They just
Do you think nobody
clearly
like looked into
didn't
his
follow that
past,
path.
like or anything? They were just like, this guy's fucking huge.
No,
And he
they,
says
they
he
Well,
has-
it's just
probably-
numbers. It's raw numbers,
Yeah,
dude. They
yeah, it's
they
numbers.
clearly did not look into it further than just raw numbers. That's all it is. And there's people that are kind of like being vocal about that, like, yo, cut RGG a break. This is business, whatever. And then there's the people that, it's like we were talking about with the AI PAL stuff, the Starfield stuff. They see a place where they can kind of like, you know, they can get mad over this, so they're going to get mad over it.
Sure.
And they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a very weird week for Like a Dragon. I feel like it's really
Very
unfortunate
weird
because
week.
this game looks so cool and it looks so badass, and there's clearly so much love and passion poured into it. And to have this be what happens like the week before it releases, it's just kind of sad. It's just kind of sad because the worst part is both of these things are just marketing bullshit.
Yeah, it'll be
The people
forgotten
that
about
made this,
in a week.
I hope
though.
so. But the
I
people that
think.
made the game have nothing to do with this. They have nothing to do with it. They don't decide where New Game Plus goes in the stuff. They don't decide what streamers get to promote it. So it's like the people that should be kind of held up and appreciated for Like a Dragon are just getting like totally overshadowed by this frankly bullshit. It just sucks.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It was also funny in terms of the content of said stream. Apparently, he went and found the mahjong that you can gamble on as fast as possible, and that's what the majority of
That was the rest of the
sponsored-
stream.
that was the sponsored stream. Is
It's gambling.
chat teaching him how to play mahjong because he didn't know. He also didn't know the game was turn-based. There's a pretty funny clip going around on like Game Journo Twitter of him not knowing how to play the game and then like interacting with an NPC combatant and realizing that it's turn-based. So yeah, fun all around from that sponsor.
Fun all around.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, let's not dog on a person who immediately opens up an RGG game and goes finds the mini games. Like, let's pull that back a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know, that's something about people how they enjoy the games.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. AGDQ 2024 has concluded. They raised $2.5 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. That puts them at $48 million raised for charities across the globe since it started 14 years ago. So they will be crossing potentially 50 million at the 15th event, or the 15th year. I guess there's summer, so it'll still be 14 years now.
I can't wait to hear, like, what is their total now? It's
That's what
got to be like
That's what I just said, 48 million.
48 million?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 4.8. Oh, Jesus.
No, they're at 48 million across all 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a lot.
PG, man.
They got a lot. Zeke, I know you watched a lot of it, watched some of it. How is GDQ these days? Is it like from a content perspective, not necessarily, it's still very successful, obviously. 2.5 million is nothing to you know, poo on.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, how is the content of it, Zeke?
It's good. It's honestly like my two, like, I wouldn't say my favorite times of year, but like it's nice to know, like, for, you know, a couple of weeks, because I'll watch the VODs too. Like for a couple of weeks, I don't have to like, oh, what should I watch? Like, because I got that. I watch the live event when it's a game I like, and then I watch the VODs when it's not. I watch, like, you know, some of the stuff live. That's why, like, I was like, I want to take one day off. And I was like, Friday or Saturday, which one? And I was like, I'm going to take off Saturday because they did like the Lies of P run. They did, well, I can't remember because I've been just watching it nonstop. So I don't know. I can't remember which one was live and which one wasn't, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of good live content, Saturday. And, it's the thing about GDQ is that I've discovered more and more is that I prefer watching the VODs because
Really?
then because they have a lot of downtime in the middle of games.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not exactly sure like what their reason. I'm sure there's a very good reason, whether it's, you know, tech needs time to set up, it doesn't seem like that would be a problem. Like you'd think like during the game that's going, they could be setting up the next game. So I'm guessing it's not that. I'm guessing that the downtime is for, reading off donations or something like that. I'm not sure the ins and outs of it, but
Got it.
the more I watch,
don't say too much. I don't want you to get banned.
right, exactly.
And
but
now
no,
I'm
like,
banned. Fuck. God damn it.
it's good content. Like I enjoy watching the VODs because then I can skip to the actual game being played and stuff like that. And it's the place where a bunch of different games, because if you're a speedrunner, if you like watching speedrunners, like you have to like jump around to 100 different channels to get what you get in GDQ. Like you get all kinds of different games you never heard of, old ass games, dumb games, like popular new games. Like, whoa, I watched the Baldur's Gate 3 like fucking showcase of how fast you can actually beat the game in different ways. Like there was the first one was the all acts, meaning you do what is required to complete all 3 acts. And it still was under an hour. You get whatever the thing is, and you get that thing done in each of the acts, but you skip around to do that.
Yeah.
And then they did like this dev room within the game, like this dev room showcase, where by dev room I mean like you see where they store certain things in the game, like certain like NPCs, certain items, certain whatevers. They like have this like room that's completely separate from the game where they put like key items, key people, like shit like that, just waiting in the wings for you to like interact with them or whatever. And it was really cool to see. Like it's got like that, that dev like checkerboard, like chessboard floor.
Sure.
And you just see them like these NPCs just like standing there like dolls, like mannequins, just waiting. It was really cool to see.
Cool.
And then they did the 100%, which was like super short, like 10 minutes or something. It was crazy.
What did the dog run? I heard like that's I made a joke on stream because they were like, yeah, dog did a speed run. And I was like, so that's where they're at with content now. Like they've run every game as fast, and now we're letting dogs run.
Oh, that was cute. That was cute. I didn't watch the whole thing, but that was cute. This guy had a I can't remember the breed of dog, but he played Gyromite. And
okay, I'm not familiar with Gyromite. Let's see.
Gyromite is an old NES game.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think it came with Rob the Robot. Like I think that was the game. Yeah, it was Shiba Inu. Thank you. That was the breed of dog. But Gyromite is this really like you can make it like super easy.
Yeah.
And all he did was like he put this like gamepad on different colors, and he made these huge like pads. So he'd be like, all right, step here, and the dog would go, and it would keep his paw there until the guy was like, okay, now sit. And he'd take his paw off and sit back. And basically you have this guy that's like walking like Mr. Magoo. You have this guy that's like walking, and you have to like take these pipes and lift him up so he can walk through that. So he was just guiding the dog as the Mr. Magoo guy was like walking to the end of the level or whatever. Jeez. And it was cute. And I have a battery for cute. It filled up pretty quickly. I was like, oh, this is cute. And now I'm done. That's good. I got it.
Nice.
And I'm done.
Nice.
Yeah. It isn't my dog, so I don't have the capacity to sit there and stare at you. If it was my dog, I'd be like,
there you go. There you go.
And yes, I do this because my volume button is my camera picture taker on my phone.
Yeah.
Here I thought you were using an actual camera, but no one does that.
No.
No, yeah.
No one does that.
No cameras at all. Push2talk.gg. I'm only shouting it out because I'm not going to spend too long discussing it, but they put up a article, an interview with, I didn't realize this was the name of Lethal Company's developer, but Zekers is the name. It's a very, very cool interview because apparently he doesn't do that many interviews. I think he's like 23. He was 21 when the game got pushed out. Anyways, the reason I bring it up is within the article, they say that they can estimate with some certainty. They talk about how and why and where they're getting the numbers from. That Lethal Company has most likely sold more than 10 million copies and generated more than $100 million in revenue. So shout out to Zekers being 21 years old and having a shit ton of money.
You said 10 million copies?
10 million copies. Likely sold more than 10 million copies and generated more than
$9.99.
$100 million in revenue.
You can go ahead and add a zero on that. Yeah. $100 million. Well, $70 million.
Yeah, the Steam cuts and all that stuff.
Steam
factor
30%.
Into that. And taxes probably. But still, he's doing very well.
He's doing okay.
Yeah.
He's doing okay.
Yeah. He started, this is also a crazy thing. He started publishing games that he had created within Roblox when he was 10. And he's been making and publishing games since then. And he's released on Roblox 12 different games. And then he put games on itch.io after that. And just continued pumping stuff out, which it really made me think like this is kind of that's how the next generation. I'd love to talk to Rami about it. Like that's the next generation of game devs, right? Is the people that lived through like the Minecraft and are living in the Roblox era now that is so foundational to like being able to build that stuff. So it's really cool. It was a really good interview. It was pushtotalk.gg who had that. It's quite lengthy as well. So I just thought that number was, people love numbers these days. 100 million in revenue, with 10 million plus sold from Lethal Company. It doesn't seem to be stopping. Like, didn't you say that was in the top 5, Zeke, when you were looking at that list on Steam in terms of concurrent or something like that?
Oh, Lethal Company?
Yeah. It's still.
Oh, I didn't see it on the top 5. No.
Oh, okay. It's not in top 5 anymore. It's still wildly popular. I think it's not gonna, as long as they keep pushing mods and stuff for it, I'm sure it'll continue to be.
Lethal Company is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's number 10.
Okay.
Number 10.
It's still
with,
crazy.
Players now at this moment or whatever, 116,000, peak 138,000 over 24 hours.
Wow.
So yes, it is still wildly popular.
It's doing well.
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Doing okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of it for news chat. Did we miss anything that you want us to go over? I saw the stuff about foam stars, and it's like 0.01% AI art, which is in the game, and so that's.
I also love how Square Enix comes out and was like, "Please don't compare our game to Splatoon."
I did see that headline, yeah.
And it's just like,
why wouldn't you want that comparison though? I don't.
You, no.
Yeah, like why wouldn't?
Why? No. Like how? No.
Because Splatoon is better. I feel like I would, if I'm getting compared to a game that sold that well, and it would entice people to play it.
Splatoon is wildly popular.
Yeah.
Like but then what's even weirder is like you literally iterated on that game. Like you took Splatoon and you made this variant of Splatoon. That would be like Palworld going, "Hey guys, please don't compare us to Pokemon, okay? Please, just don't. Okay, these are pals. These aren't Pokemons. Okay? This is our thing."
Yeah, I feel like that.
It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. Seriously. Don't do that.
It would help them. I got linked an article. When was this published? Today. According to CSGOCaseTracker.com, which is a website, they did a 2023 year review and said that more than 400 million cases were unboxed in 2023 in CSGO, with CS players spending more than a whopping $980 million on case keys. So 20 million shy of $1 billion on cases within Counter-Strike.
Funny story, 85% of that spent amount on cases was by streamers.
Yeah. Probably not wrong there. Probably not wrong.
Also, by the way, somebody in chat said, "Co, you took that Square Enix quote out of context." Of course I did. I read it on Twitter, and it's much funnier that I did.
Yeah, it's much funnier that way. Much funnier.
I concur.
Yeah. That is a wild one. I wonder if
how the fuck are you gonna be outraged if you don't take shit out of context?
I know,
Like,
right?
that's true.
Thank you.
That's true. I wonder if Steam/Valve will ever release earnings ever to be like,
They have no reason to.
No, they have absolutely zero reason to ever do it.
Absolutely no reason to.
Unless it's like unless for some reason Gabe's like, yeah, I guess it's time to show you how big my you know what is.
That's exactly what I was gonna, dude. That's the exact, like, Gabe wakes up one morning and he's like, you know what I would like the world to see? My e-penis. That's what I would like them to see today. And he's got a big red button in his kitchen. He's been waiting for this moment. And he's just like, boop. And then all of a sudden, like on the Steam Twitter, just all these metrics get posted. And he just leans back, drinks his coffee, and he's like, yeah.
It's got, I mean, if they're making just shy of $1 billion from cases alone, holy shit, that company has to just be making just ungodly amounts of money.
And I love this weird middle gray area they put themselves in with CSGO skins, where it's like, well, we're not going to support it, but if you're going to use third-party sites to establish value to them and trade them, I mean, what are we going to do, right? We'll just keep selling you cases, I guess.
I mean, I guess you have to consider, right? Palworld sold 4 million copies of the game. Steam got, what, 30% of that? What's the sharing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
30, I think it's a pretty hard 30 unless there's special contracts.
They got, man.
Yeah, like, chat's like, Zeke went to open a box. He couldn't take it. He's off on his other computer opening cases right now. I know, it's tough.
It gets lower the more you sell. Oh, okay. Still, though, I mean, they still have to be making just a fuck ton of money.
100%.
I would love to know. We didn't ever talk about the enhanced broadcasting beta, because I think we're doing like Game of the Year show or whatever. We've only done 2 shows this month, so we can talk a little bit about it. I'm sure it's been pretty well seeded throughout the Twitch community, so a lot of people are already going to know everything we're about to say. But they announced the enhanced broadcasting beta. Do you know if anyone's been in it yet, Co? I know we can like opt into it, but I don't know if anyone that's been accepted.
I am not in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone that has. Although, weirdly enough, I have seen things on Twitter about people posting like effects of it.
Well, I know that.
So I guess some people are in it.
Barry sent me I think it's the OBS developer who's been streaming with it, or a version of it. The stream title is something like the best looking 1080p on Twitch stream or something like that. But I know that people are using it. Ron, who I don't mean this disparagingly, Ron, I apologize, but he used to work at Twitch, so I would think he would be in the know. He's saying that it should be starting next week or something. So, yeah.
Oh, and for the people in chat saying, is this a bad thing? No, I think generally this is a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, I would say it generally is.
This is a large, I don't want to say a leap, because it's not really leaping anything. It's catching up is what it's doing.
Yeah, I stream with everyone already on YouTube, so it's not.
Yeah, this is it is a better way to transmit higher quality images, higher quality streaming, with more taxation on the person sending it, but less requirements on the people receiving it. So you do have to have, for like I think a 4000 series GPU, and you need all this stuff to send it out. But for you guys, for less bits, higher quality image. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there. That's pretty much how it works, right?
Yeah. Less.
Yeah, you will be using less bandwidth for a higher quality image, which is awesome. Just good.
And the Twitch thing, the enhanced broadcasting beta portion of it is that essentially it's like you hit start stream and it just automatically does everything kind of for you. That's what they're promising, is that they're going to be able to, with the help of NVIDIA, deliver the best stream possible to a viewer.
Okay.
With the broadcaster not having to do anything.
Like,
right?
and when you say not do anything, you're talking about like settings and stuff?
Yes, yeah. So right here it says, first, it will create multiple encodings of your stream using dedicated encoder resources in your GPU. Having multiple encodes allows video encoding to occur on your streaming device, multi-resolution, blah, 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 blah. And second, this capability will provide an automatic configuration option to OBS that will optimize your settings based upon the processing power of your computer and your upload bandwidth. So it'll take all that to an account and just do it. You won't have to do anything. You won't have to get your settings right in OBS, as it says in this article. There's no need for trial and error offline with bitrate and other technical settings. Once enabled, you can feel confident that you've got the right settings to create a great experience for your community. So if that works as advertised, it's great.
I was going to say, that always makes me a little nervous, because if there's any errors in the process of it selecting the best stuff, it's like that could be all sorts of problematic. And this is a beta.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm hoping that's optional. I'm hoping that all the automatic stuff is optional.
Yeah.
I don't do anything automatic in my OBS, so that would be kind of weird.
Yeah. But
I'm sure many casters don't.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't. I would say, I would think a large majority of broadcasters, however, do. They just set it to the default and hit start and go.
Oh, yeah.
So this could be a really cool thing. And I think for Twitch, this could actually be like cost beneficial to them, because they'll be able to have like a standard across the entire platform and won't have any outliers potentially. If you opt in to use this.
So this is interesting. If you scroll up, and I'm wondering about this, and this is right on the cusp of my understanding on how this functions when you factor in our side and Twitch's side. But it says there, having multiple encodes allows the video encoding to occur on your streaming device at multiple resolutions.
Yeah.
Now, one big thing about Twitch is one of the reasons it has to push so much bandwidth is because it's doing the encoding on multiple resolutions on their side, which takes up a lot of. So I'm wondering if enough people were to use this, would it free up stuff on Twitch's side?
Yep.
To be able to do, and so we would have multiple resolutions being done externally, which could be a big plus. We'd be using less bandwidth due to the new encoders, which would be a big plus. So it sounds like that could be really, really nice.
Yeah. As long as, exactly going back to what you said, it works.
It all works.
And it's
exactly.
it doesn't have like an issue in any step of that, right? Like that's the biggest deal.
If this release works, would you stay on 1080p or go to 1440? So here's where it gets interesting. So one of the reasons I don't do 1440 is because I maxed it at 8 kilobit upload, like most partnered streamers. If I try to do 1440, I can.
We're supposed to do 6, but we do 8.
If I try to do 1440 at 60, it becomes a Picasso painting no matter what I'm doing. So we don't know yet how much AV1 is going to affect this. I would love to stream at 1440 and then like set my channel default at 1080. That way, if you come to my channel, it's always 1080. But if you wanted, you could kick it up to 1440. I think that would be awesome. But depending on how much data it moves, a lot of times streamers don't necessarily want to just max their quality and stuff, because a huge percentage of our viewers do not have the bandwidth to pull that down. So it all depends on how good this is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I would how much I want people to see my pores and wrinkles.
That's exactly right. I would say that we do know the preferred bitrate to video resolution. It's just not utilized at all on Twitch. Like YouTube has video. Right now, I push 1440p 60 to YouTube, but it's at 24,000 bitrate, which is 3x what we use on
3x
Twitch.
What we can do, and ours is already pushing maximum.
So, and that's with AV1. So, if anything, it's
now,
probably
have you attempted lowering that?
The bitrate?
Yeah.
No.
Have you tried doing 1440 at 12?
I have not messed around with like what it looks like at lower bit rates.
If
at
you
all.
are ever into it, you are in a unique position to test that. I would love if you could.
Yeah,
Just be like, what is the lowest you could get that bit rate? Because I mean, you theoretically you could do this at 12. I mean, if you go over your bit rate, it doesn't like make the image quality even better. Like you get to a point where it caps, and then you're just sending extra.
yeah.
So because the pipe is bigger, it's not going to process more or deliver more. It's just going to deliver the max, however much more you give it.
Yeah.
So I do wonder like what your max is.
Yeah, I don't know what the how it would look like. The YouTube recommended is 24,000. That's not just like a number.
Oh, it
that
is?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not the number that I pulled from somewhere. That's what they recommend.
So what's their recommended for 1080/60?
I could pull it up real quick. I'd have to. Let's see.
I wonder if it's 8, which would be weird.
Let's.
No, my chat is still in CD-ROM-a-thon mode, and someone was shouting, "Try compatibility mode, Co."
um.
That never works. Don't ever suggest that. It never works.
1080p 60 on YouTube. Minimum bit rate is 4,000. Maximum is 10,000. Suggested maximum bit rate for AV1 is 10,000. Recommended bit rate for H.264 is 12,000. So
we're at 66% the recommended value that YouTube says for the exact encoders and stuff we do on Twitch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little weird, but
I mean, it's
okay.
I don't watch any of my streams on Twitch anymore. If I can, I go to YouTube because it looks so much better.
I get asked all
It looks so much
at
fucking
least
better.
at least once a day, and sometimes more. Especially from my YouTube viewers. They're like,
Yeah.
when can you stream on YouTube? When can you stream on YouTube? Like why aren't you streaming on YouTube is what I get asked all the time. Because you could, I mean, I've got a 5 gig connection. So it's like, I'm literally just like stuck in this weird no man's land of not being able to deliver significantly higher quality stuff, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. So, yeah, long story short, very curious to see this enhanced broadcasting beta begin. People are saying potentially next week is when people will be accepted into it. And it could be a good change for kind of all involved, for broadcasters, for viewers, and for Twitch. If, as we said multiple times, everything works. We'll have to see. It's posted or yielded good results thus far on the handful of streams from like the OBS devs that have been out there, and that stuff it was floating around in my chat. If you're wanting to look to see what that actually looks like, you could probably find the VODs of those streams already out. Someone said some are already being accepted via the Discord. I guess there's a Twitch official Discord that they're already accepting people into. So cool. I'm sure that stuff will come up next week, and we'll take a look at it if it's worth chatting about. What else?
For anyone wondering, from my community about this, like, this is not a button that fixes the content of my channel, so
correct.
It's not going to have much of an effect on me.
Yeah, but Zeke, we really need to see Alone in the Dark 3 in all its glory. Like we need that 1440 60. What? Jack and Daxter 1. Like, come on, man. This is important.
Yeah, you do. You sure do. Yep. You need to see all the polygons.
All 160p.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the FMV videos that are, I shit you not, mostly in 640 by 480.
Yeah.
And even then, they look terrible.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We did cover the Xbox event on Thursday. We were all in a Discord call and watched that live. So not too much to really discuss there.
We could.
General, just for me, was like Avowed, kind of a cool looking thing, but a lot of people were maybe underwhelmed. Cinema was Cinema, nothing new there.
Yeah.
Ara is not really a game that I would generally play, but people that are interested in playing that said that it looks cool. And then I think Indiana Jones being the fourth and final thing they showed I guess the Visions of Mana game was also in there from Square. But yeah, Indiana Jones being the final game they showed was the correct choice, and actually looks really fun, and kind of excited to play that. Even if Todd is in that as an executive producer, which a lot of people love to let us know their opinions on. But
I
yeah,
think the general reaction was, "Oh no."
yeah,
when I
in
saw
all of our chats, it was, oh God,
no.
it's him. He's here.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. We will have the game director of Avowed on. I think next Sunday is when they're actually slated to be on.
Awesome.
So we'll have them on for about 30 minutes towards the end of the show, and be hitting them with the questions. Most likely, Co will be the one with the majority of those, as I think he's the most avowed minded of the three of us. But we'll all have stuff to say and ask and all that.
Yeah, I am super excited for Avowed. I was definitely underwhelmed with what I saw at the conference. But to be fair, I went in with very high expectations. I wanted to be super wowed, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
The environments look great. Characters look good. It looks like it's going to be voice acted. That's great. The problem was the combat looked really light. Like for first person games, I think a lot of times having a real sense of weight, a real sense of impact and things like that can really make it feel more visceral and immersive. The combat looked very, very light, especially with the wands. Like he was just like, pew, pew, pew. And like the enemies were barely reacting and he was barely reacting. It was just felt a little, looked a little strange. And then the part that really stuck out to me was the voice acting. I was very unimpressed by the voice acting, especially considering that PoE 2, and a lot of people don't know this, PoE 2 was one of the Pillars of Eternity 2, was one of the first fully voiced CRPGs. And it was great. It had like Mercer in it, playing two different characters. Like there was a lot of really, and I'm going to play it again probably before Avowed. There was a lot of really great work in that game. So it was very strange how kind of like casual and unimmersive the voice acting felt in what little we saw in this. And it also seemed like some of the normal, more iconic, really good Obsidian writing was not really there with what they showed. And the part that makes me most concerned about this is they're supposed to be putting their best foot forward here. You know, this is like your big showcase, like some of the first time you've seen stuff from Avowed, like in the game. And I felt like it was supposed to be, again, I expected more. I expected to be wowed by it. And instead I came back kind of like, that felt kind of not really part of the world and not really immersive. And yeah, I don't know. Just a little strange.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still stuck. I'm thinking about the voice acting in that game. Dumb baby was a line that we really had a lot of fun
Big dumb
with.
baby.
Big dumb
Yeah.
baby. Yeah. I didn't really see, and this might be the
Looked pretty though.
I think it looks good. This might be, or it might answer my question, but I didn't see like much discussion after the show around Avowed. And so I really wonder now, with this being the second showing and that kind of being the general consensus that I've viewed, at least in our communities.
There it is. And I was a dumb baby.
How do you get hype around this? Like what do they need to do to generate the hype for you, Co? Like fix
For
everything
me,
you just said?
I like they showed a couple wands and like a sword and some stuff. I want to see a real showcase at the different ways to play this game. I want to see much more in depth on how can I make this playthrough mine and not just another random, first person adventure game. I want to know how they're tying this back to the other two games. Like, why is this a Pillars of Eternity game and not a new IP? Like, I'm very interested in seeing what a boss fight looks like. Is it just going to be a sponge against an enemy with a couple moves, or is it going to be something big and like a set piece that I'm going to take away and be like, that was amazing? Like, I didn't get a real sense of how many bears can I in this game? I mean, let's be real.
I was mentally workshopping questions for next week, And right
I
now
think that should probably be the first one.
I'm at what's your bear sex moment?
Yeah. No, funny enough, you say that. You say
I
that.
had like 3
But, like-
questions to ask, you fuckers. God damn it. I got to take one off. All right,
what's your
fine.
bear sex moment? You
I
know?
thought we
What
agreed
is-
that bear sex would be my question.
But no, to go back to a real answer. I want to know why this is going to be the next big Obsidian game. What about this game is going to wow me and make me be like, oh yeah, that was better than Fallout New Vegas, or that was better than Outer Worlds? Why am I going to say that about this game? I did not leave this with anything that answered those questions.
Sure.
Which is unfortunate because that's exactly what I was hoping to see when I went into it.
Makes
There you
sense.
go. Yep.
Makes sense.
That being said, I want to say, as many people in my community know, I am most critical about the things I love. So I'm still like totally into Avowed. I'm gonna explore. We're gonna do a 100% run of this game. I can't wait to play it. It's gonna be awesome. Like our playthrough is gonna be great, even if the game's not great. We're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna love this. It's more PoE. I'm already sold.
Yeah.
So,
what
but,
I'm
you know,
hearing
I'm
is,
still a little
Ko, that
concerned.
what I'm hearing is that you love me. You're most critical of the things you love.
Hold on.
Or abhor. I should have added that. I'm most critical about 90%. Most of the things I love or abhor. There
We'll be
we go.
right back. We got to
Or
talk
I
to
think-
Zeke. Let me just mute up. You guys will give me like 5. Okay, hold on.
We need one of those signs from the Xbox conference. It's like,
Where's the wrap?
no name calling. Keep an open mind.
Yeah, that's right. We need from the RTS. Do not use
No
titles.
titles. Yeah.
No titles. Zeke, you're a wait. No titles.
Correct.
No
Exactly.
titles.
Cool. We got an hour. Let's talk about stuff we've played because it's been 3 weeks since we've talked about it. What's first to mind? We got Alone in the Dark 3. Ko, I guess we'll shuffle over to you. What have you played in the past month that we have not discussed?
Oh,
We should.
tried to go back to Cyberpunk, but unfortunately, a big part of my build is because I need to do the other half of the DLC. I was actually really pumped for that.
Oh, okay.
But it turns like a big part of my build is fatalities. I have all sorts of passive abilities that activate if I fatality somebody, and the most recent Cyberpunk patch broke those. So for those wondering why I like started going back and then stopped, it's because my build is currently broken. So I'm looking forward to going back and doing that later. On top of that, also I did a sponsor stream of a game yesterday called The New Cycle. Fans of an older game called Banish should check that one out.
Oh, okay.
It is basically a post-apocalyptic take on like a Frostpunk Banish style game. I only played it for a couple hours, but it was really cool. And I had a good time with it. It's early access now. I'm definitely going to be checking that out later. It is very much a try to manage your city while terrible things happen. Balance all the resources, move through the tech ages, build the new buildings. Kind of has an Anno vibe to it as well, where you have like different types of citizens and you need to make sure they're getting the right stuff and all that kind of thing. While I was playing, a lightning strike destroyed one of my buildings and killed 2 people. And I saw in the little preview thing that apparently, as you go further and further into the game, and especially on some maps, there's all sorts of terrible natural disasters that can happen. And then a very interesting thing on this is they are bringing in Factorio/Satisfactory style automation to the later part of the game, where you're actually sketching out conveyor belts and like different lines to go into buildings and craft things, and conveyor belts on conveyor belts and splitters. And like that whole thing is apparently a big part of the end game, which is interesting. The whole world map mechanic as well. It seems like, although it's not doing a huge amount of what I would say is like wildly original stuff to the genre, it's pulling all sorts of fun stuff from other types of games of this type. And it seems to be delivering them pretty well in the 2 hours I played. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Again, that's New Cycle for people that like that
New
kind of
Cycle.
stuff.
Yeah.
New Cycle. And it just went into early access like 3 days ago. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Cool.
On top of that, been playing a lot of finals still. I wrapped up finals. I'm kind
you're
of
done?
done with it.
I
played it for like
I saw you playing another game, which we'll talk about.
I played it for like 30 hours and I had a great time with it. I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, like, it's another first person competitive shooter. I mean, it was not rewriting the book enough for me to kind of like want to dive in long term. But I had a great time with it, and everything I've said by it still rings true. It was a fun game. I could see myself diving into it later, especially if Barry was like, "Hey, want to play finals tonight?" I'd probably say yes.
Yeah, they just they had like update 15, I think, is the latest thing. So I don't know if that was out or if that's promised, but yeah, they're still doing well with all that.
And then I also moved into Escape from Tarkov. Made a little return to Tarkov.
How was that?
Yep.
Are you obviously they just had a wipe a week ago, 2 weeks ago? It's been
a little bit ago.
Yeah,
a little bit ago. So they've added a new map that only low-level people can play on, which I think is awesome.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's a brand new map. It's called like Ground Control or something. And apparently you can only play up to it like level 15 or 20, and then you can't do it anymore. And there's a whole bunch of newbie quests in it too and stuff. So that's kind of awesome. Level 19, thank you.
Now, does that just put? Are people just smurfing in that, or are you like?
I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah, like
yes.
that seems very.
But I mean,
much
I didn't go in there.
Community.
I did that map more than a few times, and I at no point got like overwhelmed by a squad. The big thing here's the thing. Sure, smurfing is a thing in Tarkov, but it's an entirely different thing to smurf. Not really smurf. It's an entirely different thing to play against a good player versus a good player in endgame gear.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the big thing with Tarkov. Like there comes a point in Tarkov where if you're playing against an enemy in good enough armor, your ammo literally will not hurt them. And it's like, there's nothing you can, like, skill doesn't matter at that point because the gear is such a crevasse away from each other. But with this, it's like you can only get so much gear to play on this map. It doesn't matter how, I mean, sure, you may know the map back and forth and be a great FPS player, but you're still going to get shot in the head if someone sneaks up behind you and die. So that's kind of cool. I like that. My last run yesterday, I had.
Sorry, just for those who don't know, and I had to look it up too because I was kind of iffy on the meaning. But smurfing is a term that refers to player using a secondary account in a video game to compete against less skilled players, either for fun or to intentionally ruin the experience for others, or to gain shit. Yeah, I think they left that out.
There are some games that are so far into it that they make smurfing illegal, where they don't want you to do it in the game. But a great example is League of Legends, Dota 2, where it's like you'll get literally thousands of hours, know exactly how a hero functions, every single pixel of a map, and then you make a new account and you're playing against people that just are playing for the first time. It's a complete
League has a terrible issue with Smurfs. Dota actually recently started banning Smurfs, so you cannot Smurf anymore in Dota. Well, you can, but you risk getting banned.
They catch you, you'll lose your main account.
Yeah, and there's been plenty of people that have been banned. But it's a longer conversation because there is a dollar incentive to not ban Smurf accounts, because if you make a new account, you of course want to buy new skins, and then that's a fairly lucrative thing for a thing like a MOBA where there's tons of skins.
Funny enough, that's also the same argument for banning people.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah, you could use that. Yeah.
So,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, the more reasons you have to ban, the more they're going to have to keep buying stuff to keep playing. But anyway, money.
Did you see the short of it is Dota's banned, by the way, during Christmas? So in Dota,
they were sending out lumps of coal.
They sent the people that they were banning lumps of coal and banned them. That's fucking
there was one guy who, it was interesting because he was using this dude, and I have no idea who the guy was. First time, this is not a personal commentary. This dude was apparently so toxic that he would pay people to play on his account and just be nice to people. So he would get his like nice guy rating up so he could keep being his asshole self.
Yeah, he did.
And he got caught for that. And then they like, he's sitting there on stream and he's like, oh, it's weird. What's this? He opens it and it's like, lump of coal. You got banned for being toxic. And he's like, oh, what's this? And he goes to queue for a game and he's like, what the fuck? It is one of the better clips I've seen in a long time.
That's really cool.
It was pretty great. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So going back to Tarkov. Tarkov is running great. It's still slow as hell queuing up and stuff. I wish I'd get a thing on that.
Really?
But
even on like the loading map?
Oh god, it's always slow. Everything on Tarkov between rounds is slow.
Huh.
But it sucks, especially compared to
other
here we
games.
go. It's terrible.
I did not mean to show this, but here we are.
Perfect.
So I did in my few time I played last night and 2 nights ago and 2 nights ago and last night and I think I got queue bugged at least once on both nights, where it just endlessly tries to enter a map and you have to Alt F4.
Wow.
So I mean, there's still bugs, there's still issues, but the fully adjusted recoil and it feels a lot better. When you're in, it feels great. It's running very well. The sound is also still very questionable. Like there were multiple times
it's vertical sound, right?
I literally, it's just bad sound. It's just bad.
Okay.
Like they're like, I don't know if my headphones have been fine in other games, but for some reason in this game, like a guy will be coming around the corner in front of you, and for him, like walking around that corner, it sounds like he's coming from like your far left and then all the way. Like it's just you can't place people properly with normal sound in Tarkov. I don't know why they have such a hard time with it, especially considering how freaking important it is in that game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a mess. But I will say, in terms, like I have hundreds of hours in Tarkov over the years. This is the best state it's been in.
Cool.
I can say that. Like I definitely had fun the last two. If it wasn't for Palworld, which I'm playing tonight, I would probably keep playing Tarkov just because when you're in and things are running well, it feels good. I mean, I had a round last night where I got 14 kills.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, like it all just felt good. And it was really good. So
I
yeah,
never
I mean,
I never like heard a conclusion to this, only that it was happening when we covered it with the whole like wobble thing. Like, is hacking still an issue?
yes, there
It
are still
is.
cheaters. There are still cheaters. I don't think I encountered any of them. I certainly didn't encounter them like every map or anything like that.
Yeah.
There was no one wiggling at me or anything like that. I've heard that most of the cheating is towards the upper
tier.
echelon that
Okay.
you really have to worry about that kind of stuff, like people running labs and things like that. So in my novice newbie play events, I did not run into anyone that I would say is like, oh, that guy was cheating. That never happened.
Cool. Okay.
Granted, I
That's
played
good.
for 4 hours total.
Yeah. Yeah.
They weren't running rampant.
I felt like it was like, and that might have been because it was towards the end of a reset, but the conversation was like, oh my God, there's so much fucking hacking. You can't play Tarkov. And like everyone quit playing Tarkov. And then the new season launched and everyone's like, I love Tarkov. I'm back.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's always a mixed bag. I mean, you have people that are talking about how good Tarkov is, and then you have like Summit where he's like, this happened. Tarkov is a bad game, and then like 3 hours later, he's logging back onto his stream to play it. So it's one of those, it's one of those types of situations. There are definitely still issues with the game, but there's absolutely enough good stuff in it to have a good time at times.
Cool.
That was a great example where it's like, I have no idea what killed me just then. If you go back a little bit in that clip, because I tried to analyze it later, I still to this day I have no idea what killed me in that clip. Like we analyze no muzzle flashes. I just looked up the stairs before I went down. Like no clue.
That's
that. If anything, if I was going to say that I got hacked at any point, it would have been that kill.
It was right there.
Showed.
Gotcha.
Just because, but again, in classic Tarkov style, it could have been just a dude that heard me on the top floor and hid in a corner and got me on my blind side right when I came down the stairs.
Huh.
It happens all the time.
I had a bunch of people in my chat say that there's a vacuum cheat now, where people will join a game and then hit the vacuum cheat and it just vacuums all loot in the map to them. And that's like one of the big issues right now. In a game around loot, I could see how that would be an issue.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, it just
where do I get that for testing?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. I'm sure someone in chat.
Surely. I just want to see how it works.
I'm sure chat could help you out there. Oh, the lobby bug that you had is apparently tied to those vacuum hacks.
Really?
Yeah. Chad, is that the one where people said you open console and if you see errors, that means that you have a hacker in your lobby? Is that? I was watching a random Tarkov stream and okay, yeah, Chad is saying it's that. Gotcha. That's how you check to see if you have a vacuum hacker in your lobby, is to open up the console. Oh, you don't see that error anymore. So maybe it's gone. I don't know. Hard to keep up.
All right, yeah, they do update it a pretty good amount.
Yeah. So that's Tarkov. There was something that Zeke wanted to. We were doing some show. It wasn't. I'm looking at your VODs to try to see what it was. There's something that Co played that we both wanted him to discuss. Oh, I don't think this was it, but did we talk about Pacific Drive? I know you played that.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
This is what I'll say. Pacific Drive is awesome. I think there's a demo out. Maybe. Or maybe I played an early access version.
You played early access version. They removed
Pacific
it from
Drive,
our Steam, so we can no longer play it.
Oh, they did. That's right. Dude, Pacific Drive is cool. Like, I had a really good time in this game. It's kind of like a non-combat stalker, and you have a car base.
Yeah.
There you go. That's That's your tagline. You can have that one for free.
Wait, are
Yes.
you like jumping up in the air?
Oh no, it's an anomaly. So there's all sorts of
Oh.
anomalies that do all sorts of weird things in this game. And the premise is that it is a survival crafting, and you could also argue there's base building because you do not only have like a home base, but also your car kind of functions as a base where you go around. But there's a main story, there's voice acted characters. Your character, this is not really a spoiler because it's very, very light, but the TLDR is your character is wandering near this exclusion zone and gets sucked in for a reason you have no idea why. And then that's basically where the game is. You're like this person that's inside this zone and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and people are talking to you, and you're, and all sorts of stuff. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of crafting, a ton of looting. There's a lot of inventory Tetris-y kind of stuff, but it's there's a lot of auto sorting and stuff too. So for those that don't want to deal with that, you don't have to. Full upgrade system. You can also upgrade your person. The whole base can get all sorts of different upgrades, and you can kind of choose down this big tech tree where you want to go. And it is a very, very fun game. I am totally sold on this, and I cannot wait to do a full run when it comes out.
Yeah.
It's also procedural too,
Oh,
which
nice.
makes it interesting too. So when you're
I've
in
heard
your
that echoed.
garage,
So
when you're in your garage, you get a map and you plan out a route, and the routes have to go through zones, and then the zones have stats with them. Like this zone might have this much of this resource and this many anomalies and these types of anomalies, and those are all randomized. And then I don't know how far the procedural mapping goes. I don't think I got the same map twice. I might have, but it's different enough to where it's like every time you go out of your garage into the zone or whatever they call it, there's going to be little twists and turns that can change too. Also, the car is highly customizable. You can find paint and all sorts of cosmetics and stuff as well. You can upgrade the sides from like trashy to steel to barricaded. Your engines, your wheels, your windows, your doors, your rear view.
everything.
You can have all sorts of everything pretty much. You can add on racks, and then different things can go on the racks. And
Cool.
I hope they
The
don't.
game is
I
called
hope
Pacific Drive.
they don't let you change the wood paneling, because that's kind of what makes the whole thing. It's like
Well-
it's like the dude's rug. It really ties the car together.
Again, without spoiling it, there are interesting story reasons why things are the way they are. So
Okay.
like somebody earlier was like, oh, can you get more cars? It's like, no, and you'll see why. So there's some stuff in there. Yeah.
Does it feel like there's because I don't know if you know or whatever, but like, is there a end point, or is it just
Oh yes. There's a goal.
survive? Okay,
No,
good.
there's
okay.
there's not only a goal, there are story characters that lead you through the game. So
Good.
the demo takes place after there's like 2 big mission umbrellas, and after you complete the second one, a message straight pops up, and it's like, normally you'd keep going and doing your thing, but that's the end of this, and you can keep farming and stuff if you want to, which I did, and still was having fun, even just farming around and messing around.
Cool.
But yeah, there is a defined story and a defined objective.
Yeah, I remember talking
Probably
about
many.
this. I talked about the inventory system and how I hate when inventory systems are too small, but you kind of alleviated that by saying like, yeah, there's lots of inventories, like spots, like you can put shit in
Yep.
your car, you can have it on yourself, you can blah blah blah. So
By the
that kind of
time
alleviated that a little bit, but God, do I hate that.
By the time I stopped the demo, I had 3 giant item receptacles in my base, and I could add like I think 3 to 4 more. So it's a game that very much wants to reward hoarding if you want to go down that path, or if you don't want to do that and you just don't want to deal with that at all, you could just get exactly what you need to progress and just keep going with that.
Great.
So it very much seems like it caters to farmers, but you don't have to.
Fantastic.
Speaking of people who cater or people who like farming and building and blah blah blah, the once human beta coming to a close today, apparently.
Oh
it
yeah.
today?
Are you sad to see it go,
Yeah.
or excited to see it
Yeah,
go?
I
So
am.
you can do it all over.
I'm a little excited. I'm a little sad, but because I never got to do like everybody kind of fell
Things.
off of it when I was like, I want to do like the last thing that's on my mission thing, and it absolutely, in my opinion, requires like a bunch, 2, 3, 4, whatever people of like max level to do this one little thing, this one little dungeon or whatever you call it. You want to call it.
Yeah.
And my kudos to my lady. She was trying her hardest, and she just reached 50 yesterday. And I'm just like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. We're gonna have to wait. So I'm
Good.
good
Now you
with
have some
waiting.
stuff
It's
for
okay.
release.
Yeah, you got stuff for
But
this.
also, like,
exactly.
Does anyone because I recently I opened my mailbox, because in the mailbox you get like your daily login, like rewards and shit like that. But I got something in the mail and I can't remember exactly the wording of it, but it was like badges, and it kind of hinted at maybe you get to keep some stuff from the beta.
Oh,
Like it's not like won't be a full wipe, and I don't know if anybody can
yeah, we'll see if
can
chat,
confirm or whatever that, but like
what chat says about
it
that.
said something to that nature. Like when the game boots up for real, you get this or whatever.
It might give you like some sort of early access thing, token, whatever. I would be surprised though if anything like carries over character wise, or progression wise. People would be up in arms about that. But yeah.
Light. Oh, people are saying they're called light forged metals. Yeah.
So
whatever
it
those are.
is like a metal cosmetic thing. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else? I saw part 224 was the end of your Rogue Trader playthrough. I was clicking on to see where you're at, and I saw the
I'm done.
the scroll.
I'm done with Rogue Trader.
Yeah.
We did it. We did a straight up 100% run of that game. I did
Jesus.
every single thing there was to do in it. I think it took a total of 120 plus hours. And I loved every minute of it, man.
That's
I
a
tell
lot.
you, there's no game that explores Warhammer 40K like Rogue Trader. I mean, the amount of situations you're in, the decisions you have to make, the characters and everything, like it is an iconic experience.
Yeah.
I would probably, I hate saying it, but if you're thinking of playing it, I'd still probably wait maybe another patch or two. Like Owlcat, to their credit, has done a good job getting most of the big stuff out. But the thing is there's a lot of balancing. There's a lot of little things that kind of add up. And I think that it could use a little more cook time in that regard.
Got it.
But I still loved it. I still had a great time. Yep, still had a great time.
Cool. Yeah, that's a lot of game. Big game.
It is a lot of game.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I said this in my thoughts video, if Rogue Trader had the veneer of Baldur's Gate 3, I would have had a hard time picking a game of the year.
Yeah.
If Rogue Trader had all the resources that BG3 had, if it had fully mocapped, fully voiced, like if it was on that level, like the writing, the world development, the dialogue, like it is a very, very, very well written game. And I want to emphasize that by saying very 3 times in a row, show you how bad I am at that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's phenomenal in that regard.
Yeah. Thought experiment for the two of you. And Co, maybe it is Owlcat with just resources behind them, but what is the game studio that if they had unlimited funds, budget, whatever, that you would love to see like make the definitive Warhammer game? What studio would you put behind that?
Owlcat did a great job. Funny enough, Larian, I'd like to see Larian take a crack
yeah.
at it. I think they'd be amazing with it. I think Obsidian could do it. And here's the thing. I think Obsidian could do it with Microsoft money.
Is it a CR?
I think
it's a CRPG
I think
then, is what you want?
I think you get Josh Sawyer at the head of a team with enough money and resources for him to actually be able to develop his vision. And I don't know if he's interested in 40K, but he said this about PoE 3, which is why I think he's a smart guy. He could probably make it about Warhammer if he wanted to, but yeah, I think Obsidian could do it. I hate saying it. Outside of those 3, there's In Exile. I would add In Exile to the list.
So you're looking deep
outside of those.
RPG is what you want from a Warhammer game.
Wait, man, Warhammer, like the world is so vast, and there's so many, like there's so much great. Nothing in Warhammer is black and white. Even the good guys have evil sides to them. So it's like it's the perfect place for a game that like has the time and the will to set up a huge row of dominoes for the player to knock down. And it's such a great world for that stuff. So I'd love to see more deep games like Rogue Trader in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah. Zeke, for you, any golden ticket that you would give out there to certain devs, and like what style of game it would be for 40K? Because I'm definitely interested in the setting of 40K. I just don't know what type of game I would want to play with like that AAA polish.
How what are the oh God, I'm trying. I don't have a good answer. I have a funny answer.
Yeah. Which might be a good answer.
1 second here. There we go. How about Half Mermaid?
What do they make?
Half Mermaid
What'd they make?
were the devs behind Immortality, which was that FMV game.
Oh God, that'd be a weird
I
fucking
would
game.
love to see an FMV Warhammer game.
That'd be wild.
I think that would be fucking great.
As long as the costumes are super poorly made and they do everything in like first take only. I think that would be great.
That would be a wild one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it would give cosplayers like a job for like months. Like, bring your best
Years.
cosplay outfits. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
dude, that'd be dope. I'd love to see an FMV fucking Warhammer game.
Wait a second.
But,
wait a second,
it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Somebody just said in all caps, there is one?
There is a Warhammer FMV.
Wait. No.
This is why we do thought experiments.
Please,
right here.
please be Holden. Go on.
This is where
It
Zeke
says there is one somewhere. Hold on.
This is where Zeke finds content.
To the Google machine.
Final Liberation? Leading your Space Marines in ferocious battle against Green Orc Tide, you follow the storyline through FMV clips between missions.
What type of game is it in the missions?
Strategy turn-based sci-fi.
Oh, so this is like a Command and Conquer thing then.
It's like a Command and Conquer thing, that's right.
Oh,
so it's not
that
quite
actually-
the same.
That sounds
but
kind of sick.
that sounds pretty cool.
If you get like Kane Command and Conquer style.
Oh, I
shit.
know, right?
Well, Zeke, you might
Oh,
have
man.
to
Dude,
check that out.
you get scenes
Campaign
like,
play featuring over 30 scenarios.
like, hey, we're gonna go in there. Let's go. Hold on, you got to make me super small and pixelated though. Like,
Oh, I can't.
we're gonna
do the
get in there
pixelation.
and kick some butt. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't do the pixelation, unfortunately. At least.
How has an FMV dev not contacted you yet, Zeke? Like to be in their game? I'm baffled.
You got to do it. What is
I'm
this?
friends
do?
with people who do FMV games, and I still haven't been asked.
One of them needs to.
I'm
step
not
up.
hard
Oh
to
my-
work with. I promise.
What is this?
Is Zeke
Did you just
going-
lower our bit rate?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Go,
that's
Zeke, go.
funny
Now's
enough.
your time.
Funny enough, it's only to you guys. It's not to anyone else, Zeke. You're still pristine.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, soldier. We're going to go out there, grab your bolt gun, get your helmet on. We're going to kick some ass for the Emperor.
Wow.
Boom.
Frankly, I'm sold. Where do I throw money?
He's sold. He's sold.
That's amazing.
Zeke, what do you want to talk about? What have you been playing? What's going on?
Let's see. I've been playing a lot of old games, man. Obviously, since it's CD-ROM-a-thon.
Yeah.
And I guess one thing I wanted, like, I had a real good time going back to and playing Morrowind
Oh.
for the first time in, God, I don't know how many years. Like, I mean, because Morrowind came out in what, 2005,
Sure.
7, something like that. Whatever.
2002 is what your title says.
Wow, 2002. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. And going back and remembering all this shit, like, because you think you remember it, but then like you talk to one person, you're like, all these memories just like flooding back of all of these hours, because this game might be the game, Morrowind might be the game that I put the most hours in of any game ever. Just because I didn't have there was no like, how do I find this Google search? You know, like at least I didn't have that.
Yeah.
If it was around in 2000, I don't remember, but
Game
like, and I didn't get
Facts
like
probably existed then.
probably, and I didn't get like the Prima guide or anything like that. I just wandered around and I realized like I probably put 500 hours in the game before I did like the third main story quest because I forgot about it. Because one of the first things the Blades guy tells you, the skooma head fucking Blades dude who's like in his apartment, like shirtless, like, yeah, I'm your contact. Like you see like the sugar on his fucking desk, like he's a drug addict. You're like, this guy's my fucking anyways, whatever. And he's like, he says this one specific thing that made the game last so long for me. He goes, you need to go out there and get some life experience, in not so many words, or in different words. And I was like, okay. So I went out there and I did not come back for 500 hours until I took the time, like, where am I even going in this game? What am I even doing? And I had to flip all the way back to like page 3 because it wasn't like tab separated back then. You just had to find when they
God.
gave it to you.
They don't.
Flipped all the way back. I mean, I think you could still search by name, but I didn't remember the fucking guy's name. I didn't remember the organization I was supposed to be a part of. So like I had to flip all the way back and I finally found that little thing and I went back to him and he's like, so you got some experience. Here's your next quest. And I'm like, oh, I am really over leveled for everything that's coming for the next little while.
Yeah.
Because I did all of the mage quests. or mage guild. I did all of the fighters guild. I did all the thieves guild. I did all that shit before coming back to this guy and going, where were we again? And he's like, oh, you just got to kill this level 3 thing and then come back and report. Like, oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm very old. I realize saying this. They don't make games like this anymore, or I don't get to experience games like this anymore where you don't have everything figured out. And it's literally just like, I'm going to go out into the world, get some life experience and just discover shit slowly. Palworld hit on that before it was released to everyone. And I was like, God, look at this. It's so fun just to like get on this mountain and go fly around. And then the more I did that, the more I'm just like, oh, fuck. They're just like copy and pasting some of this shit. And like my brain works that out faster than I think I want it to. Because Elden Ring does the same thing, right? Like Elden Ring has so many copy pasted things throughout the game.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, fuck, why? Don't make that connection, brain. Stop it. Like I want this to be.
I just want to have fun and enjoy this.
I just want to enjoy this, man. And you're totally right, Zeke. Like it's so rare to get that these days. Before someone was linking spreadsheets in my chat yesterday. The game had been out for like a little over 24 hours of like all the pals, all their damage, all the best resistances, and how to fight. And it's just like, brother, the game just came out. Like, fuck.
Yep.
Stop. Yeah.
No, and one of the biggest like markers of this game was you talk to somebody and they're like, you want to go down this road until you hit this tree. Then you take a left at that tree and then you keep going for a little bit and you take a right at the sign. And I'm like, okay. And I look at my map like, you didn't mark it on my map though.
Yeah.
And I was like, I talked to the guy again and I was looking like, he didn't put it on my map. He doesn't put it on my map. Wait, I have to look with my eyes? I have to look for this tree with my eyes to take a left and then look for the sign with my eyes to take a right? What?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. Like I forgot like how much of the thing is like they give it to you to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Cole, you were going to jump in?
I was going to say, I ain't got time for that these days.
Oh, you ain't got time for the search?
I need to be told where to go. I need to be told what to do. I need a big glowing arrow. And it even points if you have a journal that just follows me around so I don't have to actually listen to the NPCs.
See, and
I can just throw it on in there and be good to go.
That's the other side of that is I actually do want that in a lot of games. Like, I want that experience that you just described. But every so often, it's just like I want to be able just to walk into the middle of nowhere, just looking around and be like, oh, this is really exciting just to experience.
Real talk, it actually completely depends on the game. There are some games where being told exactly where to go and what to do is just fine. You don't need any obfuscation. You don't need any weird veiled commentary. Nothing.
Yeah.
But when you build the game around it, like when you build the game around like having to actually pay attention and listen, you find yourself actually paying attention and listening, and that is a different experience.
Totally.
That a lot of games have to offer. So, absolutely, man, it's pretty great.
I gotta say though, the one thing I hated back then that I still hate today, and I like the fact that they don't hold your hand, they just tell you directions and you have to figure it out. But God fucking damn, I'm going to play this again, and I'm going to play it modded, not too modded, mind you, but I will be playing with any mod that gives me a an acceptable amount of movement speed, because boy, did I forget how fucking slow you move in the game. No matter what, even if you take like the best, like, you know, the steed as your star sign and this and that and the other thing, like, holy fuck, do you move slow? Like, I don't mind finding the stuff, but it was minutes leaving the town just to get to the first like thing, and I'm just like, that is something I don't miss. I do not miss that, and it's still to this day when a game doesn't have decent movement speed, I am out.
I love this. I love this.
Out.
This is so real life right here. You walk up to this thing of road signs and you're like, okay, let's see. That would, let me look at my book.
Yes!
I need to go here. Okay, that's that way. Is that it? There's a tree I'm supposed to make a right at. Like, I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
I can just imagine an NPC like walking around, like looks over and sees Zeke. Player, man. Oh my god.
Now we're really
I
getting back
remember
to that era where you make skits about the player of a video game. That's the YouTube content of the era. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Somebody, Luscious Kane just brought this up, and it's a great example. If you want a more current day feel of this, you gotta play Outward. I mean, that's like it's great because where Morrowind, I feel, don't get me wrong,
Is it Onward or
could
Outward?
have done it. Outward.
Is Onward a game? Or did I always just call it the wrong game?
Did I say Onward? No, it's Outward. Yeah.
Maybe I just always thought that was Onward. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. No, apparently Onward is a shooter. Says Creamy Caesar. There you go. But yeah. Anyway, what's cool is where a lot of the stuff was, you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of it was choice in Morrowind, but you know, some of it could have been limitation or just the fact that those mechanics weren't like wildly used. Outward makes the conscious decision to do it how it does. And by doing that, it kind of like adds these interesting little bits of freedom to the whole kind of like formula that the Morrowind stuff and didn't. Again, if you like this at all and you haven't checked out Outward,
yeah,
emphatically recommend checking it out. The Game of the Year edition, which I am due to play again, is supposedly awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Somebody's just said in chat, by the way, Zeke doesn't know that the Morrowind skill system literally lets you jump over half the map if you know how to grow your skills. That's what I love about the game. Or you can use level up speed and levitation. The game lets you go as fast as you want, but you have to know how to do it, which is interesting. And you also have to have like the right.
I don't fucking min-max though. I mean that.
Yeah, Zeke just wants to press W.
Sure. Yes, and that's fair. That's fair. I mean, as Kiwi was pointing out,
I remember
though, like,
playing
there.
the game, and I remember like the spell and item like creation shit was totally broken.
It was very broken.
I remember that shit. I remember
and
like
also amazing.
The first time I had the money and whatever resources to create, I created this fireball spell or whatever. And I went to that little mages guild room where like 7 of them are standing in the room. And I was like, I'm going to try this out. And I just went, boom. And everybody's dead fucking instantly. And I'm like, this game is easy.
It was
I know that.
Very easy to
I don't want to play it like that though. I want to play it like, you know, with a challenge.
It's fair.
However, I don't like, I know about the boots and I know about the enchantments and I know about all that shit. I mean, I played this game for like over 1,000 hours, I'm sure. So I know about all that shit, but it seems like it cheapens the experience when you go directly to something that makes you overpowered immediately.
Completely. 100%.
I just want a little bit more movement speed. Everything else can stay the same.
Yeah.
I just want to go a little bit fucking faster is all.
This little worm. Yeah, little guy.
And that's what mods are for. Mods, you like all kinds of mods to just like tweak the little things that you like. This doesn't cheapen my experience of the game.
Isn't there a like Skyrim Morrowind mod that's coming out soon?
Yeah, Skywind.
So Skywind. So there's a couple mods. There's one that combines worlds and ones that I think is a remake of the new engine.
Okay. Is that out yet?
Zeke, which one are you thinking about?
That's what I heard it called Skywind, but I don't know. I haven't checked it out.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know if that was out yet.
Skyblivion. Oh, Skywind is out. Skyblivion isn't. Skywind is out?
Huh. What about Scorrowwind? What is there? Is that a thing? They said 2025 release. Oh, okay.
No, Skywind is Scorrowwind.
Okay.
No, if you're trying to combine Skyrim and Morrowind,
No,
that's
Zeke,
Skywind.
it's Scorrowwind. They fucked up the name.
Oh.
It's got to be Scorrowwind.
Okay.
There's no way it would be Skywind. That's a stupid name.
No, I think they just call it Morrowind.
That's a completely different type of content that we're not going to
Anyway.
get into in this show. Yeah, you don't want to. Also, Zeke, you can skip the long version and just call it More Rim.
More rim, yeah.
This hurts.
Yeah. Anything else, Zeke, you've been playing?
Let's see.
You want to bring up?
No, I mean not really. Like it's
Okay.
all just been old ass games. Like, let's see. Let me check my old box here.
I mean, I could read them. We got.
This is the box of games that I have completed. Panic in the or have played on CD-ROM-a-thon. Panic in the Park, starring Erica Laniak, which I played yesterday. Was great. Shivers. Oh man, Shivers. This is an old point and click.
Oh, Shivers!
First person adventure game that is like it's a super big game. Like there's a lot of shit to explore. However, some like this has a lot of old on it is kind of what I've been saying. Like the old on it is that there is so much backtracking in the game. It is just I got to a point where I was just like, now I have to backtrack and remember where everything was because of the inventory system. You get one thing to carry, one, and you have to know about 20 different items, like a bottom to like a vase and like an animal head thing to capture spirits. So you have to know where the bottom is and the top is, bring them together, put them in place. And I said no, I'm not doing it. But the game did impress me. It was really, really good, and the voice acting really good as well. But I could not do all that backtracking. Die Hard sucked ass. Don't bother.
Okay.
This was a surprise. Emergency Room, Code Red and Code Blue. Emergency Room, the first one, Code Red, actually really fun. Code Blue, not as much fun, but Code Red, I had a good time, like figuring out, like diagnosing people and like you ask them questions, you try different stuff. The game badmouths you if you're like, you are wasting the hospital's time and money by trying out the forceps. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. I thought that's what I needed to do. But like, yeah, it was great. I had a good time with it. Return to Zork, I played a little bit of. It was okay.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
I
old
played
Zork.
and finished King's Quest 7, The Princeless Bride.
Okay.
Nice.
Not nearly as good as 6. I'll say it. Not nearly as good as 6. 6 was better, but still pretty good. And not too long. You know, I finished it in 2 streams. I tried The Longest Journey. Also, one of those games that just had too much old on it. Great voice acting, great story, lots and lots of dialogue. But boy, do they fucking like to take their time giving you lore dumps.
I think
Holy shit.
they're remaking that, right?
Are they?
Isn't there a remake of that coming out?
Maybe.
Or a second one or something? Or am I just making all this up?
I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, and then I
it's
played
like that
Alone in the
Onward
Dark
game.
3.
Yep. That's a VR game.
Which
by the way.
was like a great game. And one thing I wanted to mention, like back in the day when they made these discs, they made them like really, I was going to say durable. Shit. Oopsies. Whoopsie doodles.
What game did you just snap and have?
What game just died? It was like
Alone
a
in the Dark
20-year-old
3.
CD.
Womp womp.
Well, that's just a full circle moment right there.
Yeah.
Wait, had you not fit?
As you can plainly tell, none of them survived.
Is your
They
playthrough
are
done?
all in the fucking game
Okay.
graveyard.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
you
We're
did.
done. We're good.
But another game
That's
that I
over.
really enjoyed that I think is worth mentioning that I want to go back to is the game that I think Jeff Keighley mentioned on his list of like remakes or something. But I shit you not, this was really fun. It's by the makers of Leisure Suit Larry,
Okay.
Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist. this game, it's a point-and-click adventure game, but it's fun. It's funny. It has a lot of like tongue-in-cheek jokes, a lot of references to other games and stuff like that. But it's actually like pretty fun, like to figure out and stuff. And I think I'm going to go back and finish that someday. It's really good.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
What have I been playing? I finally killed Fatalis. That's a thing. Feels like that was a year ago now that Palworld came out. But yeah, that's done. That was good. That took 111 hours on the save. Attempts were 29-ish hours of actual attempting the boss. So
I think you could probably play the clip, JP, if you got it handy.
I don't
love to
like
see it.
watching. No, I don't like watching the clip. It's kind of
Why?
embarrassing. I've watched
Dude,
it
that
enough
was
times where it's
victory,
like,
though.
yeah. I mean, everyone was like, oh, it's fucked up because everyone's like, that's the most emotional I've ever seen him. And like, for me, it's kind of like it's a weird thought for me. So yeah, you could watch the clip. It's out there. It's in my chat if you want to spread it around. But yeah, everyone's like, that's the most emotion I've ever seen. For some reason, that's just weird for me to watch. But I was very emotional when I killed it.
Well, listen. That was a primal scream, dude.
Oh, I almost
I just
passed out.
watched it. That was so good. But that's the thing. You're allowed to show the most emotion you've ever shown.
Oh, I know.
When video games are your life.
We don't have to turn this into like a therapy session.
No.
Like I understand. I almost
Why
passed
not,
out when it
though?
happened. But yeah,
I think honestly, I mean, I would say anyone that says it's crazy for that kind of reaction for a game, I mean, you
I didn't
were
get much of
trapped
that, but
in
yeah.
something for 30 hours of your life. And
Yes.
then through your own skill, clawed yourself out of it. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a game at that point, man. Like
sure.
it's okay to
Sure.
be real.
I don't
happy
worry.
that you
I
have
don't
to
worry
do
about that
anymore.
aspect of it. But yeah, I didn't see too much of that conversation. But it was very much I
haven't actually seen the clip, so could you play it?
you won't be able to get
watching that-
audio is the only thing.
Oh.
You can.
All right, hold
I
on.
can.
Someone
I
have it
can
in
send
chat?
it to you. Yeah.
Here we go. I got it.
Yeah.
After watching that clip, JP, I got to tell you, like, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not lying. Like, I feel a little bit closer to you. I really do. I'm not even joking, dude.
The sheer
just seeing
screaming.
that, fuck, just knowing that's inside you, that really, like, I feel like I know you a little bit better.
I was really sad after the fact because I think it was on I think it was Monday. And my wife had Monday off. I was really wanting her to be in a meeting with like other Riot executives and just have me doing that in the background of her meetings. But yeah, didn't happen.
So JP, you did one of two things.
What's that?
You either killed Fatalis or just passed a kidney stone.
Something like that. Yeah. Something like that.
That was wow.
It's definitely I will now I was telling chat and talking with other folks, I will probably be chasing that high of that day for a good amount of time. Like it was a pretty good feeling.
Do you really want to chase that? Because I mean the build up to it was expensive.
If the payoff, like not even kidding, if the payoff is that good, yes. I'm actively looking for the next thing to like tackle in that regard.
I too chase gamegasms, but I think that it's you got to find the right game. It's really got to click with you.
Oh, you do. You do have to find the right game without a doubt. Yeah. It was a doozy for sure. A really good moment and a good like after the moment.
Yeah, people saying Elden Ring DLC. Not that an Elden Ring is really that hard. I mean, let's be real. I mean, like, unless you're doing a challenge run or something.
So to talk about the actual fight, Fatalis is not hard. What's hard is the 30-minute time limit to beat Fatalis. Most of my like resets and quote unquote deaths were because the 30-minute timer. Because you just can't output that much damage that fast.
Let me say this. A lot of people in chat are being like, well, what about the end of this boss? What about Millennia? Stuff like that. Dude, He spent 30 hours trying to beat it. Did you spend 30 hours trying to beat Millennia?
Yeah.
Like, sure, a few hours on a boss is a lot, and you beat it and you feel great. It's not 30 hours.
Yeah. It's
So-
it's the equivalent of doing like a MMO boss at this
It's an
point.
entire
Because
game.
you're-
That's more
you're learning
than
rotations
most
for
AAA
DPS,
games have total for
Sure.
one boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
very different.
It was a doozy. That's for sure. The other did I tell you guys when I got rated by like the best Monster Hunter player of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me a congrats afterwards and I was like, thanks, legend. Like, I appreciate you. I was like, we're on equal footing now. You understand this, right? and
Like
it's
fucking-
like
And then he
absolutely
probably-
not.
then he-
Michael
Then he
Jordan,
probably
like,
follows
good
up.
game, kid.
He's like, give me a call back when you got on farm status.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on kill 78 right now.
No,
going from
it's
set,
not.
and,
It's not even that his name is Kanta. Kanta, days before that, died on kind of the boss right before in his no cart run, meaning he could not cart. He could not die to a single monster in that game, and he died to Alatrion, which is the fight before Fatalis. So,
Damn.
yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at the game. Like, he knows what he's doing.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Oh, okay, this is going to be a really old reference, and this is for people who are 40 or above. But I just pictured what's the guy's name? The Monster Hunter guy?
Kanta. Yeah, the streamer is Kanta.
I just picture Kanta like walking down that tunnel, like that where the football players go after the game's over, and
Yeah.
JP's like, "Hey, I beat that guy," and then he turns around and he throws his mouse at you. He goes, "Good game, kid!" Like he throws that jersey in
And
there.
then walks into the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the
So,
old Mean Joe
JP
Green.
JP, when is your no cart run?
I don't know.
That's the next logical step.
I thought about I talked about doing like this was right off. So I started the Monster Hunter run, right? And then World of Warcraft came out with we started playing the hardcore server of WoW, and then I went back to it. And I thought like, man, playing Monster Hunter in a group of like 3 others and doing a hardcore run would be pretty fun. But now after watching Kanta play it, there's so much random shit. I mean, it's just like, wow, there's so much random shit, but I feel like it would just suck in Monster Hunter that much more.
Yeah.
So I actually have legitimately thought about it, even though I think the the question was in jest. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to I uninstalled the game right after killing it. By the way, didn't even craft any of the armor.
As one does.
I was done.
As one does.
I was just done. But I'm
Yeah, I was
very
gonna
much
say the
looking forward to Wilds whenever that comes out.
The extended thing of that clip, I think you had to like, it's on a time limit where they're like butchering the.
You got to
animal
carve it.
or
Yeah, you got to
monster.
carve the
Yeah,
animal.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, shit, I gotta go fucking do this thing.
Yeah, I got lost in the sauce, as it were. It was fun. It was fun thing. There were multiple times where I was like, I fucking hate this game. I'm fucking so tired of this fucking game.
I know it's not the same, but it's a similar feeling to when you have been struggling to get a CD-ROM game working and someone comes through with the weird fix and it works.
Oh, there was a
Like,
lot of
like, I'm
tilts.
talking
And
like,
then Zeke goes,
30 hours.
yes, yes, yes.
Zeke gets into
Same
it, man. Yeah,
You're not wrong.
yeah.
Like I don't, maybe
I'm-
not that much, but like definitely after like 4 hours, 8 hours, like one game like Black Dahlia took 3 years before I actually figured out.
I
like,
do
we
remember that. Yeah,
came up with a solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
there are
And
parallels
then,
too.
and then like, but then the similarities don't end there. Like when you actually get to carve up the monster, it's like, oh, I got the thing now. It's like I got to play the game. Like, game's all right.
Oh yeah, it was never about the gear that it dropped. Yeah, yeah, never about the gear that it dropped, without question.
Yeah.
I did have the similarity though that you probably have as well when it comes to CD-ROM-a-thon of first time chatters coming in and asking why I'm not doing the most simplistic thing. I raged something fierce at a couple folk that I do not think will be returning anytime soon to the stream. For
My
just
chat,
saying
if you're
something
watching,
like
go ahead. Go ahead. Put the things I'm thinking of in my brain in the chat right now.
Oh, I'm sure there's
at
a
least
lot.
5 of them. There's
Yeah.
at least 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Yep,
simple
yep.
things. For me, it was I didn't use the radial menu. Monster Hunter players will know that. What were some of the other ones, chat? Why doesn't he just use a different weapon? If hammer's so hard, why doesn't he just use a different weapon? Has he tried the cannons? Are you doing the cannon strat? Yeah. Smoke.
Play
smoke
it on,
bombs.
Play it on GOG. It's available on GOG.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you copy the files from the disk and just put them on your PC? Have you tried compatibility mode?
Oh, that's a good one. Have you tried compatibility mode? I like that. That one's fun. That's good.
Like people like really like honestly trying to help. Like, here's a link to the ISO of the disk, and you're like, dude, there's fucking one rule, just one rule. Play it off the disk. You have to play it off the disk. That's the only rule.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it is the disk, but it's like,
that's the rule. Can't do it. Anyways, yeah, Fatalis is dead. Feels real good. Looking for the next thing. I never went back to Prince of Persia because Palworld took over my life. Did you go back, Co, after the embargo?
I was kind of the same way. I planned on going back to Prince of Persia, but now all this other stuff has happened, and I'm not sure.
It came out I was like into it.
I started my Dark Urge run in Baldur's Gate 3 too, so that's kind of like
that's the back burner. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I have free time, I'm probably doing that. I've already had one of the most horrific experiences I think I've had in a CRPG in that run. So it's been a.
How is that the fact that you couldn't
far.
press reload? Was that the horrific?
That's one of them, absolutely. But no, there was a particular event that happened, and chat convinced me that it was not because of Dark Urge, but because of a patch. I was like, oh, how cool, this is awesome. And then the event unfolded, and I, needless to say, I had been had.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Noted. It was horrible.
All right. It
was actually terrible. Was it involving Gale's hand? No. It had nothing to do with Gale's hand. It happened later.
Interesting.
I can say it with spoilers if you guys are interested, but it is. It's a thing.
Yeah, we don't. I might play a Dark Urge. I have been also messing around with the idea of.
If you are even considering it, I don't want to even.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, let's not do that. Because I will eventually do that at one point or another.
Just real quick, I've been on my own time. I've been
What's your
slowly
offline?
like every once in a while I'll pick up and make some progress on Chants of Sonar.
Oh yeah,
And
liking it?
yeah, I do. It's a really chill, beautiful game. That is about discovering or about deciphering languages. And I'm on the 3rd language. I think I don't know how many there are, but
yeah,
I'm on the 3rd language currently, and it does get progressively more difficult to like decipher that shit. And I love how they lay it out for you. Like the first language is more 1-to-1 with like I think English, how it works, like sentence construction. Then it gets progressively more like, okay, so you say this word before this word to modify that.
Yeah.
It's like if this thing is plural, they'll have the plural thing around it. The language before would just say the word twice to signify like soldier or soldiers. It would be one soldier or two of the word soldiers. And sometimes it would be like the next language would be like soldier with a little boop that would indicate soldiers. So it's a really cool game. Once again, the only thing I have a problem with is the movement speed. I wish I could move around a little bit faster.
Got it.
It's not even that slow. It's just, the game is beautiful and it's big. I mean, the scenery things, but you do a lot of there's a lot of long hallways where you do nothing or long staircases where you do nothing. You just look at stuff, and I'm like, okay. But the third time, fourth time you go up that staircase, you're like, man, I wish I could climb these stairs faster.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I heard a lot of people talk about Chants of Sinar last year, and we're quite favorable about it. Outside like Monster Hunter, I didn't realize like dominated my December and January. Been playing Valorant from time to time. That's been pretty fun. Getting got Gassy Mexican involved, got Strippin involved, a couple other folks. That was good. League's new season started, so I jumped into that. League is in a real weird spot right now. They just launched the new season, which is an annual thing, and it is like one-shot central. Like people are just, they changed a bunch of the itemization in the game, and it is a weird game to play now because you like walk into a fight and in a literal second you're just dead, and so kind of people are enjoying it. Very extreme, which is a league. That's just League in general. The whole thing's extreme, I would say. But people have very extreme opinions on it. Yeah. And certain characters are in really good spots. And yeah. Haven't played too much of it, though, because Palworld, like I said, has taken over my life the past week. So I've been lost in that. And then this coming week, Enshrouded seems like it's going to be something that we'll definitely get lost in. I'm curious
Looking forward to that.
You got the two of you. Are you both diving into Yakuza Thursday, Friday? Is that a full playthrough?
As soon as I can.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Zeke, you doing? Is that an offline game? Are you going to do the offline?
CD-ROM-a-thon.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I
you're
will
gonna
play
wait.
that online.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Yeah, there's a few games that I'm gonna wait, but I will be playing.
26th, so you don't have to wait too long. Yeah.
No.
5 days, something like that. But that game's also going to be 100 hours probably, right? Like that's what they're saying. Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing everything, it's going to be even more.
You doing everything? You going to just take it one day at a time?
I'm gonna like I think I'm gonna do it the same way I did Rogue Trader, which I think worked really well.
Yeah.
And that is the thing about games like CRPGs and Yakuza and stuff like that is the people that like them tend to love them, but the people that don't want nothing to do with them. So what I've kind of found best is like, keep the morning stream kind of varied and doing that kind of stuff. And then if I'm doing like a long game, like afternoon streams. So I'll probably do like probably a week or so, maybe a little bit less of like Yakuza all day. And then I'll start
doing
other stuff and different cozy every night and everything.
Do we know if it's releasing right away with English voice or no?
Yes. The Man Without a Face specifically said on release that they would be doing English later. Yeah, but we have not heard anything like that.
The man who erased his name, but yeah.
Sure, whatever. Man who erased his face.
The man who didn't have a leg. Yep, that's
I'm
my
sorry. I was crying too hard. I'm sorry.
No, you missed. But it's okay. You missed. You actually confused it with a really good Billy Idol song. Eyes Without a Face. I get it.
I meant to.
Man Who Stole the
But
World.
no, I'm 90% certain. Especially with all the Yang Yi promo they've been doing, I'm 90% certain it's going to be coming out on in English on release.
The best ones in chat. The man whose penis is a miss. That's my favorite Yakuza game. That's really good, James. Good comment. Look for that expansion somewhere down the
that old like a dragon title, The Man with Only One Ball. That one.
That's my favorite.
Man
DLC.
Without a Ball.
Oh God. Yeah, so it should be a busy week coming up.
There's another game. Releases. What's the other game coming out? It's a Shrouded Yakuza and no. There's another. No. I think it's an indie.
There's Unforetold Witchstone, which I think I have a sponsor for. I don't know if that's what you're doing.
Unforetold Witchstone. What even is that?
It's like a CRPG. Funny enough, I figured you would. You would know about.
Oh! That's the one we heard about with the crazy like, you can do whatever and kill everyone in a town. Oh, man, that one's super interesting.
We're doing a sponsor, I think.
Can I buy your sponsored stream? If I just pay you the amount, could I stream instead?
Why don't you just stream the game?
Because I can't. You can't stream it. You can't play it.
It's early access to everyone though on the 25th. Yes, Co. Yes, you can.
Wait.
Yeah.
I regret everything. No, I take it back.
You can totally do that.
No. I didn't know it was coming out the 25th. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
I
No,
think
that game
it's
looks
pretty
super
good.
cool. I'm very excited about that one. It looks very cool.
I don't know what was the game you were thinking of?
It might have been Lil Guardsman. When does that come out? I played the demo of that and it was actually a lot of fun. That one? January 23rd. I think that was it. Yeah, Little Guardsman comes out, which is a very fun, ridiculous Papers, Please style game. Zeke, you might really like it. The comedy of it is
I played the
funny.
demo.
You didn't like it? Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
But yeah, you got a demo out if people are interested. But maybe there was another one though. What about Helldivers?
That comes out.
The one I'm looking forward to on the 24th is
February.
the early access of Enshrouded.
Yeah, I think we're all.
We were. That's Enshrouded and
we need to wrap show, but
I gotta go.
Helldivers on the 8th. Do you guys want to do a co-op stream of that? You want to jump in, 3 of us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. I've been looking forward to play that. Cool. Let's do some shout outs and wrap up. Zeke, what do you got going on?
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for watching. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, or Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. I stream every day at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'm in the middle of CD-ROM-a-thon. I've got another week and a half of just playing CD-ROM games. Next game up is whatever you vote for, and it looks like it's going between Hexen and Gabriel Knight 3 are the 2 top vote getters at the moment, but you can still vote if you want. I won't calculate those until Monday, probably evening. So whatever you guys vote for is what I'm playing next on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Thank you to encoding for being wonderful co-hosts every week. And also, if you like tabletop role playing and you like Blade Runner, I do a Blade Runner tabletop show on twitch.tv/tablestory right after Drop Frames now-ish. So if you want, I'll see you over there.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Zeke. See you next week. Go. Shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Ko. Going to be playing more Palworld this evening. If you want to stop by, probably doing that next week with Baldur's Gate 3's Dark Urge run as we move forward into Enshrouded and Yakuza territory. Then no-lifing that for a bit. Maybe some more Tarkov here and there, some more multiplayer stuff. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching as always, and see you next time.
Awesome stuff. Thank you both. I'll be jumping into some Palworld right now for at least a couple bit time minutes. My brain is really fried. I've done 4 12-hour streams in a row.
Woo!
So it's been a doozy. I will not stream till midnight tonight? ? We'll see. And then Enshrouded like everyone else. I will not be jumping into Yakuza. I will probably watch Zeke and Co play and then tell myself that if I'm going to play this, I have to start at Yakuza 0 and probably start that game for the 19th time and quit after 10 minutes. So that's at least what I've got going on in my future, and we'll go from there. Next week, we will have the avowed game director on towards the, I think, last 30 minutes of the show. First 2.5 hours will just be show as usual. So looking forward to that. That's it for us, though. I like it. That's not what Zeke's final. I don't know how to update. He did a crazy look at the camera, but it didn't capture it for some reason. So that's unfortunate.
That looks very thoughtful.
Yeah, he looks very much like he's got a lot on his mind there. Like he
does.
He just wants to have a great 2024 right there. Very outward looking. So not onward looking, outward looking. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. We're Drop Frames. We're out of here. Bye.